doing it. We are going live with the Sinners podcast. We're gonna do the spoilers. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna be real with you. What inspired me to come here is annoyance. What inspired me to come here is annoyance because there is just such a way that people are talking about Mary's character, and it is bothering me. I'm gonna be real with you, and it's frustrating in ways to have such a personal connection with a character in a movie, or just to feel like the ways that people talk about a character is not what you're seeing. But at the same time, I'm hoping that people will hold on to the nuance of the movie as I share, because again, I'm looking at this movie as someone who identifies as a whole mixed person, meaning that I've gone through a lot of reading and information. Yes, I am saving this live. Yes, what up? Thank you, Kiara, for asking. Yes, this is the live that will be saved. This is the live that will not disappear. The rest of the lives, I need to watch them again because I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. The last few lives, I'm just not sure. But I feel like this live, I'm gonna try to be as cohesive as possible about the movie. Me too. Hey Sierra, I hope you're doing well. But yeah, so getting into it, I want to be candid that I'm coming here off of being very annoyed. So while I am gonna do a review and talk about the movie, I am also going to bring up something initially to explain why the fuck I'm here. So there's a conversation happening about Mary on Threads. And if you want to get into it, you can follow me on Threads. My Thread account is CH0NKYBUDZ on Threads. And that is also my Instagram. And so with that being said, if you want to just read my replies or go through my replies in real time and just see the shit, just so you can see what's going down. But basically, there's a person who is very clearly white passing, very clearly white looking, trying to assert that Mary was black. And it's awkward because, you know, there are so many words for mixed people that have been here for a while. And it's obvious to me as a mixed person that there's a reason why, that even to this day, when people talk about us, there are many words to describe us. Because and what I think it comes from is when we were being sold, it was a way to indicate how much we were worth. And with that being said, I want to hold that white supremacy is still operating just the fucking same. It's the way that people will say red bone, and I'm fucking pretty sure people did use that type of language when talking about selling somebody who was lighter skinned. And so, with that being said, it's the ways that I'm not trying to make it all tragic because we are privileged, but I am trying to offer that it's the way that words like Sakatra, Griff, mulatto, quintaroon, octoroon, quadroon, like those words were invented to describe someone who is not black. And this person really thought it made sense to write the N word in code and was talking about, oh, the N word with the hard R would still be on their birth certificate. And it's like, sweetie, why are you writing a slur right now? And had the nerve to tell me I'm writing slurs by writing classifications of mixed people from fucking enslavement, which were not operating like slurs at all. I feel like there's been maybe one time in my life where someone called me a mulatto as like a slur. You heard me? Like one time, and it was in the South, bitch. And this was after he was trying to fuck me and he was drunk as fuck. So I want to be super candid that this man clearly had some sort of desire for a mixed person, but at being rejected because again, I was not attracted and he smelled crazy. He that was his way of getting me back. That was his way of trying to hurt me, was to tell me that I was some kind of mistake, that I don't know what I am type shit. And it was funny as hell because it's like, sir, the fact that you're using the term mulatto means that you know I have black and white ancestry. So you know exactly what I am. There's no tragic mistake, bitch. But with that being said, it's the way that he tried to weaponize identity in that moment, again, after being rejected, meaning it was not fucking accurate. It was not something he really felt. He knew he could say it, but why were you trying to fuck me, bitch, if I'm some tragic fucking mistake? Again, it's the way men will really try to rely on harming you after you have seemingly harmed them by saying no thank you. Like men treat boundaries like harm, and it's awkward as fuck because you're letting me know, bitch, if I said yes to you, it would be yes to a lot of bullshit. It's the way that some men let you know after you say no, how they move. Oh bitch, you could never say yes. Because if you said yes, then you will be dealing with a monster. Like once you say no to certain people, they really reveal that like they didn't expect that. They expected you to say yes forever. Um, Red and yellow bone, you sure right. They wrote that on my dad's birth certificate. His grandmother scratched it out. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the ways that, like, everybody wasn't called Negro on their fucking birth certificate. And it's the way that everybody wasn't black. And it's awkward because, again, it's the way that, like, my mom, who is white passing, really does, like, really has said to me, like, has regurgitated back to me that, like, you know, the one drop rule is why she's black in the most recent time of life. I am 35 years old, meaning my mom had me at 25. So she's 60 what, right? So putting that out there that like a 60 something year old white passing woman has absolutely told me to my face she is black because of the one drop rule. And talking about some blackness is as light as a feather, as dark as, and then said something really anti-black. And it was just awkward because it's like, wow, like you really have to include yourself. And again, it's the way I wasn't hearing it at the time, but it's so clear now that whiteness has colonized every race. Like everybody has been colonized. Like it's the way that like the Indian folk that got money are what? Are what? It's the way that Latino folk with the money got what? Like let's talk about it. Like whiteness been doing a lot of fucking work to make people think that they can be white and other shit. And it's awkward because it's the way that like me telling people I'm white is funny as fuck because people head about to explode, bitch. Like as soon as I'd be showing people pictures of my mom, like, yeah, I'm actually white. Because bitch, honestly, at this point, think about it. There are so many black folks who have said they do not want their children to pull out a picture of anybody to say that they're black and to prove their blackness. And I'm like, honestly, I was like, it's the way I'm actually about to start trolling because bitch, oh, I know my letter sounded crazy. But it's the way that I'm about to just start being like, yes, actually, I'm Caucasian. Yes, I came out of a Caucasian cooter. That's all it takes. You show a picture of your black father and people be like, okay, you're black now. So I'm just going to show my motherfucking mama. That's it. But again, as I said, there is no world where Mary was black. Like we have to hold that like if Mary was black, she wouldn't be getting on a train to go be white again. Mary's like that's the thing about being mixed. You have another option. And I was trying to stress that before when I was talking about like when I be wearing wigs, like the ways that like people can perceive me as Asian and it changes how people view me. And I did not consider that deeply because in the moment it's like, oh, people are being nice to me. But then it's the way that people are questioning what I am because they're trying to figure out how nice to be to me, bitch. Honestly, like in retrospect, I feel like that's the real thing is like folks be trying to figure out, should I be dehumanizing you? Are you black? Like that ass, like that's what it'd be giving. It'd be giving like, hold on a moment. Can I like you? Or should I be harming you right now? Like that is what it's giving at this fucking point. And so it's the way that I wasn't seeing it that way though. It's the way that I was like, oh, like I guess I look different. But at this point, I feel like it's very much an intentional thing. Like if I put on a wig, I already fucking know like someone's going to question what I am. Like I remember, bitch, I just did some silky twist on my natural and went to an event and this mixed person was like, what are you? And it was funny as fuck because it's like it's very rare fellow mixed people ask like what people are. Like it's very strange, but I've never really had mixed people. Then again, whenever I'm around mixed people, we just naturally talk about what the fuck we're mixed with. Like we just somehow the combo just come up like dead ass. Like that I feel like people know that. I feel like people know whenever we get together, we be talking about what the fuck we're mixed with. But again, it's the way that like I rarely have like fellow mixed folks like be like, what are you? Because it's like, I don't know. Then again, like I feel like it really depends on what's going on if we'll like really go into that. But it's the way that a mixed man who was looking very white passing, but his hair gave him away. And I feel like that's another layer to this is like Mary is white. Like let's stop. Let's stop. Like let's stop. Like again, the octoroon shit is like it's a definition for a reason. Like there's a reason why we have these words because everybody wasn't black. And yet, like, folks are really feeling comfortable to be like, oh no, Mary was black. It's like she wasn't. And I feel like personally the convo is happening the way it is because there's so many white passing people watching the convo and they're claiming their blackness. Like they want Mary to be black. And again, it's the ways that I've seen people say things like, it's ignorant to say that Mary's not black. And I'm just like, how so? No explanation. And I don't want to bother anybody. Also, a lot of white people have been popping out saying that their daughters are black and then putting in parentheses mixed. And I wanted to intervene, but then I was like, ugh, like it's the way that I really don't feel like you can talk to white people right now. Like I know that that's gonna sound how it sounds, but I genuinely feel like this is not the time. Like, I feel like I don't know if there ever was one, really, but this is not the time. And I know some people don't want to hear shit like that, but I'm telling you, they are unhinged on another level. Like, I've had multiple white people do a lot of crazy things to me recently, and it's all because I was literally saying the things that they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear that, like, this is their fight. They're up. They need to ask for help. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that they don't want to hear from anybody who is of color. Like they really don't. Like unless they're like being neutral. Like it's very much feeling like I would have survived this 20 years ago. Maybe not 20, but maybe like 15 years ago. But no. Mm-mm. Like this is the way I just can't perform. Like white people are making sense at all. Exactly. And see, that's the thing. Like, she ran outside thinking that that was how her privilege could be used. And that's a part of white supremacy is thinking as a privileged person that you know how to help black people. Like, that is not real. That is never real. Like, if you're mixed, even if you have black ancestry, you need to be asking, like, how can I uplift you? How can I support? Like, you don't know. You may think you know and end up fucking it up. So just ask. And again, it's the ways that if you don't feel comfortable to ask someone how you can uplift them, how to support them, that's on you. You have to build the confidence to know that your privilege is going to help you help this person and not even help. Mutual aid is about all of us. Like if you are able to do anything for anybody, please know that you are getting something from that. People being stable in our society is a part of us benefiting from that as well. We all benefit when people mental health is not motherfucking fucked up because they can't get no food. We all benefit from people having housing, do we not? Can you imagine 100 people being outside? Can you imagine that? I want some of y'all to consider that because that's what this summer is about to be. Can you imagine 100 people on your block outside? What would you think? And the worst part about it is a lot of people would be scared. They would be scared of those people despite the fact that those people are outside. They can't come in. But we're definitely going through a housing crisis that's bad, friends. And so it's the way that like we really don't know all the time how to help people or how to support people. But there's definitely going to be moments where we're able to, come through for folk, but we really have to fucking ask because we really don't know. And so yeah, it's getting scary as fuck. Like it's the way people are posting about having to live in their cars, the way people are talking about having to live with parents that they don't want to live with. Like that is very terrifying. And so I'm really hoping folks remember findhelp.org. I know sometimes people be telling you about resources that are whack and don't work, but they have worked for me. I will never tell you about shit that ain't worked for me. If I ain't using it, I'm not telling you about it. But these people have definitely given me food. There's so much food that they're offering me. I'm very grateful. It's to the point where I'm thinking about trying to, figure out a virtual pantry, trying to figure out how to support other people because there's some stuff that they're giving me that I don't necessarily want to eat. I'm gonna be fucking for real, and it's not nasty. It's just like veggie soup and shit. I'm not a veggie soup bitch. Somebody like veggie soup. So again, it's just one of those things where it's like findhelp.org. It's all based on your zip code. So just keep that in mind. I'm trying to talk about it every time we talk because I know some people are just, it's hard to know that like, you deserve support. Like sometimes you hit up an organization and they really make you feel like you just wasted your fucking time. I will have to tell you right now, I never felt like that using the organizations provided. And if you do feel like that, you can review these people and let people know what kind of offerings they offered you, especially if it was anti-black or weird. So keep that in mind. There is a review portion if things go left, just so that you can be held in the truth of what happened, but also maybe help other people avoid that organization and maybe get them shut the fuck down. Because honestly, why the fuck have an organization that's operating like that? It's a very wild time to be employing eugenics, but they are. And I truly feel like that's why, just to get back on topic, why we talk about Marys, you know? Mary is white. Mary gets to go back to being white, and she didn't want to, but why? Like, why did Mary not want to go be white again? And again, it's the ways that, like, it wasn't like bad things were happening, right? They clearly had money, bitch. Like, I just want to be candid. They weren't down bad. She's coming from a funeral, supposed to go home, meaning that somebody was waiting on her. Let's be real. Like, she was a married woman with a husband. He was waiting for her at the train station, bitch, on the other side, or was going to be. And so there's a part of me that feels like she really risked exposing herself as a non-white woman to go and run away. And then that's the other thing too, is like people said that she would have had to sneak into her town. And it's awkward because it's like, okay, so she would have to sneak into her town, but when she was in public, she was just talking to this black man, just just publicly, and the black man kept saying, get away from me. Again, it's the ways that, like, in the end, I feel like in the end, Mary's character actually stole him and captured him. Like, I personally feel like if the vampires aren't just on, like, the vampires can pick and choose who they want to bite, bitch. That's why I'm sitting here looking like how I'm looking. Cause it's like, bitch, Miss Mary fucking knew, like, she wanted to turn that man. And I feel like that's another part of her whiteness, is like she knew what the fuck she knew. Right. Again, think about it. You had a plane ticket. Like, I just feel like having a train ticket back in the back, baby, that was a life moment. Like, you couldn't just hop on the train as a bitch by yourself. Like, that wasn't even a thing bitches was able to do. But the fact that she was a white woman meant she could. And she was married. And she also, again, was traveling to the fucking south from the north. What up, anime? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing my best. I feel like we're all doing our best, right? That's what I see for us, doing our best. I got a nice cup of tea. I'm thinking about making some eggs. Yes, bitch, I got eggs. That's how good I'm doing, bitch. I got an egg, ho. Eggs about to be a sign of fucking money, bitch. It's about to be like, how many eggs you got, bitch? This bitch only got one egg. Like, dead ass. That's about to be what kids on the fucking playground. I bet her family don't even got eggs. Like, I hate to say that. Bitch is gonna be like, what you eat for breakfast? I bet it's not eggs. Like, damn. Not eggs being a status symbol. That is tragic. But again, the future's indigenous, bitch. It makes sense. Like, yeah, like, eggs gonna get harder to get, bitch. And you need to get a chicken community wise. High key. Why did they both have mojo bags was my question, especially if he didn't trust his brother judgment enough to send Preacher Boy to watch him. I mean, hear me out. I feel like the one brother, like Stack, saying that Smoke is out here wilding and doing his thing, and watch his back and shit and protect my brother type shit. Like, there's just a part of me that feels like maybe there was a level of infantilization happening there. Like, maybe he was trying to explain how some men don't really tell other men like some real shit. But I feel like on the other hand, I don't want to give Smoke too much, because somebody said in the live, I want to say it was maybe Eric Williams. Eric, if you're not here, my bad. What up, Michaela? Eric has said something along the lines of they didn't appreciate King of Reeds. No, you definitely can't. It's because my titties are out and I'm smoking like a blunt and thinking about eating breakfast. So I'm sorry. Like, I can't always be clothed. Like, I know that's probably gonna sound how it sounds, but baby, like, I don't know. I just feel like between me and you, if you ever go to New Orleans, there's a place called the Country Club. It's a nude beach. PS on that. Well, nude pool. It's a lot of men there. I'm gonna be real, baby. It's very gay. It's very gay. But bitches be there too. But I feel like it's low key and a lot of people don't know about that. But just a PS on that. The nude pool in New Orleans in the Country Club, it is very Hawaii. So bring your taser. That's all I'm gonna tell people. Bring your taser, bring your bear spray, whatever the fuck you think you need, bitch. I trust you. Yeah, again, I just feel like it's a nice thing. Also, my friend in Chicago told me on the beach they have a part of the beach that's nude. P.S. P.S. to any Chicago bitches. They got a nude beach in Chicago. I will get more information. If anybody really cares, you can reach out to me directly. But bitch, hearing that, all my titties will be out. Baby, it's just something about getting your titties tan, like outside. Like, it's just something about being a fat bitch, but naked at a pool. Sweetie, just having your coochie out as a fat bitch, again, I know not everybody gonna be there. That's okay. But if you do like to be naked, if you enjoy being naked, there is some nude spots that I've heard about. So just a PS on anybody that anybody cares about that. But also, I feel like that's another like it just feels like a very old timey kind of thing because I feel like being naked in public is very much like frowned upon. And so being able to go swimming naked, like baby, it's nice. Anyways, what the fuck? Okay, getting back to Mary, I'm just not appreciating how people are making it seem like Mary was black. Like it's very annoying to me because it's like if Mary was black, Preacher Boy wouldn't have looked at her like that. If Mary was black, she wouldn't have been pretending to be white to go to the train station to go be white again. Like if Mary was black, a lot of things wouldn't happen the way they happened. Like let's keep it a buck. Like if she was black, he probably would have been like, "Hey, come tonight, come to the club tonight. I'll see you later, Bookie." Do 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 do. He was like, "Bitch, don't bring your white ass around there. We not trying to be around white people like that." Like it was very much giving that he had that the twins had been in Chicago dealing with white people that were even more fucking annoying, and they were like, "You know what? I'd rather deal with the white people that I already know are annoying versus have to learn some new white people." Because that's the other thing about it is like I've never lived in the South for real, but the limited time that I did stay down there, the white people were bugging. Like it's true. It's like they really have and again, I'm used to the northern whites where like you have to go out your way to bother them for them to bother you. Like they're not really going out of their way to be your friend. They're not really talking to you like that. Like don't get me wrong, they'll kick, but being your friend, no. But I feel like in the South, it's very segregated as fuck. And like if there's a white person around you, they're usually broke as fuck. Like high key. Like high key, high key. And I feel like that's the other part of this is like when white people are around black folk, like close proximity, they don't have a lot of fucking money and they be looking at black folk real ugly. And so I feel like that's a whole nother level to this. Is like how white people will be around black people in the South and be like, damn, watching pockets. Watching pockets bad. In the North, I feel like you can get away from them a little bit, but in the South, they really keep an eye on black folk in a particular way. And again, we know why and we know how. Um, no, the one drop rule is ridiculous, but again, it's the way that like the one drop rule being talked about today as if like we can't clearly see that Mary was never black is very awkward because there are white passing people trying to tell me like what white people thought. Like I know what they thought. They thought that that was a octoroon, meaning she wasn't black, meaning that like they said they classified her to sell her or to use her in a particular way. And it's also the ways that people talk about blackness like it's not still here. You hear what I'm saying? Like the way they're like, oh, she was black. She never was black. Like even saying she was black is awkward because you're acknowledging a transition in her being able to move between. If you can opt out of blackness, you're not black. Duh. But again, I don't want to act like everybody knows that. But for somebody white passing to fight me is awkward as fuck because it's like, sweetie, like the language we have lets us know the language of white passing, the language of quadroon, the language of octoroon, the language of yellow bone, red bone, the language of passe blanc, the all that language explains that they are not black. Like it literally explains that in the language, and yet people are trying to gaslight and be like, "See, she was black," and it just seems like a gaslight. It seems like a motherfucking psychological operation. Somebody tried to say that like Michael B. Jordan's character ending up with the quintaroon that he ends up or the octoroon that he ends up with and being like, that's, she's like talking about the interracial couple at the end, Mary and Stack being together at the end, making it seem like, yeah, that's something, like that's black men losing their soul to be with white women. And I was like, baby, for real, hear me out. I'm not gonna say it's not that, but I'm just like, hmm. I swear, these lighters hate my guts. These letters hate my guts. But again, I don't know how other people are feeling about that sentiment. I personally feel like I don't want to say it's not accurate. I'm just trying to hold that in the end. I feel like Mary was like from my perspective, Mary was like the white person that like won't leave you alone and very much is obsessed with you, very much is like trying to be close to you, very much like wanting to be with you. And again, it's the way that I used to be friends with this white girlie, and it was kind of awkward. Like, I'll never forget this. One time she like posted a bunch of pictures of herself and she posted like underneath the captions being like, oh, this is how such and such posts their picture. And it was just weird because it just felt like, damn girl, like what are you up to? Like, what are you doing? And again, there were moments where she was tanning like to like look browner, and like it was just kind of like, what is going on here? And I felt genuinely like she wished she was black. And I feel like she like whenever I seen her, she would be going out of her way to be around. Like she was an audio major, and like a lot of audio majors at my school, like they were singers, like they were rappers, they were people that were into music, and they wanted to like learn how to like create music in like a technical way so they can obviously promote their projects. And it's the way that she was just always around somebody black and always trying to just emulate in this way. And there were moments where Mary's character was just so fucking performative. Like it was so obvious that she was like, damn, I don't gotta be white no more, or I don't gotta be white for a weekend. You feel me? Like it was very much giving like, well, I get to like, perform in the way that I grew up performing. And then also there's a moment where she talks about being able to beat up all the black women in the juke joint. And it was awkward because it's the way that like Stack said straight up to her, get out of here, leave. And people keep saying it's because he was afraid the clan was gonna come or someone was gonna come and know that she wasn't white or get her caught up. And it's awkward because it's like, why would he be telling her to leave his place of business um like why would he be trying to tell her to leave for her safety when he's the one unsafe? But at the same time, her saying like, I'll beat up any girl in here, you taught me how to fight. It was awkward as fuck. It was very awkward. Because again, it's like, why would you say you're gonna beat up all the women in the damn juke joint if they do what? And again, it's the way that there was this implication that there were black women that were gonna harm her. That was awkward because again, I feel like people are making up that he was scared for her, when what I heard in the dialogue was that there are black women here that probably don't want to be around white people today. Like they probably are tired of seeing y'all. And again, it's the way that they threatened that white man when they gave him the money for the juke joint and said, hey, we giving you all this money, don't never come around here again. It's the way they were setting a boundary around whiteness. And I personally feel like Mary was crossing it habitually. And the way people are framing it is because she's white. Because she's white, people want to say that it was benevolent. People want to say it was sexy because she's attractive. That's the thing. If Mary was fat, I really wonder what people would say. It's the way people would say that she sexually assaulted him. It's the way that we would know what the fuck we're seeing. It's the way motherfuckers would know she was a bug. It's the way she would be a big bug if motherfuckers was like, "Oh, I'm not attracted." But it's the way when you are attractive, you can get away with a lot. And it's unfortunate to say that because again, it's the ways that I know I've definitely gotten away with a lot of things because people were like, "Well, you're cute," and true. But that doesn't mean that people should be able to get away with any fucking thing. But again, it's the way that people will see people be attractive and be like, "Oh well, oh well." And again, it's the ways that like in the movie, people are seeing Mary sexually assault this man after being bit as a vampire, meaning she knew what she could do to get him in a subdued position. She couldn't just bite him all in the open. She had to do something to get him out, to get him away from people in order to keep him forever. And I'm thinking about that act of being like, come. Like she dragged him into the room, and I'm sure she has super vampire strength. So that's all I'm trying to offer is like he told her like multiple times to leave, and people may see that as oh, it was a soft boundary. It was a breakable boundary. Like I just feel like we're in a time where people really want to say consent is wiggly and jiggly, but it's really not. Like he told her multiple times. He told her at the train station, and he told her ass again at the juke joint. Dip out, bitch. Be out. But again, it's the ways that like it feels like he came back to town and was like, I want to create a new life for myself. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to set a boundary around whiteness. And again, it's the way he didn't expect to see her. It had been how many years, and she certainly didn't expect to see him. So everything she did was on a fucking whim. Everything he did was intentional. So that's all I'm trying to offer as well. She was going home and delayed her leave. So everything her character did was something that she really wanted to fucking do because she put herself in a weird position. If she really was sneaking into town and pretending to be white and running away, like if she was really that girl, then she was doing something quite foolish. Exactly, queen, 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 go in. And the way that preacher boy literally was like trying to eat his little sandwich and was like, bitch, I know y'all not coming to eat my ass up. Like, and again, it's the way that they let him live. And I think about that. I think about why they let him live and like just the ways that like how some elders think about love, think about being caring. Like in their mind, they were like, it's loving for us to let you live. It's a loving thing for us to not turn you to. And I think about that as well, that like there was a desire to protect someone, that there was a protection desire. And again, the protection desire came from who? Not the white passing person. The white passing person at that point was getting what she wanted. Again, in the end, Mary was very happy with her lollipop. And I feel like, again, even that lollipop and her walking around, somebody tried to say, oh, people are saying that Mary was acting black, but no, she was finally free. No, bitch. No. No, 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 no. That lollipop in her mouth and that little smile, like I feel like that was all very intentional. That she was pacified finally, that she got what she wanted. That whiteness got to eat. That whiteness got to eat some blackness. Let's be real. She got to be what she wanted to be finally, which is recognized as a black person. She literally ate her way to status. Like we have to acknowledge that before then she was hiding out, pretending to be two different fucking people. Now she gets to be one whole bitch. Why? What did she do to get that? Again, it's the way that she intentionally bit him, but why did she bite him? Think about what her life is now compared to before. Sure, she's free. Sure, she's free. But it's the way that he was wearing the Coogi sweater. It's just again, it's the way that they still didn't look matched together. Like they did not look like a couple together. She looked very Instagram 2025. Like he looked very dated. And again, like I feel like I don't know. There was just something about Michael B. Jordan in the end with that bitch that just had me like yuck. And then also, you know what? At some point we're gonna get off Mary. I promise you, because we got something to talk about. We gotta talk about Annie. We gotta talk about Annie. I know. Talking about Mary is so easy. Talking about Mary is so fucking easy, but talking about Annie. Now, this is what I wanted to say. Eric Williams brought up that King of Reeds. Um, damn, I'm blanking on their name. Justin J. Their video about sinners and Mary, I didn't finish it, but I was appreciating it. I was really liking it. But I feel like I want to watch it again. I feel like I probably did finish it, but I could watch it again. But for the most part, I appreciated their take, but I also feel like their commentary on Mary. I feel like, there's there's a portion of people that hate Mary's character so much that they wish she wasn't there. And there are a portion of people that are like, Mary's character was important. And it's the ways that I think that some people are misreading that as like Mary's blackness and her connection to blackness is important. And it's awkward because that's not what's being said. What's being said is that the confusion created by white supremacy and naming people quintaroon, octoroon, quadroon, Sakatra, Griff, mulatto, all those things do culminate in somebody like really not being able to be their full selves. And again, it's the way that they're saying that Mary's on the way to the train to become white again, to get on the train and come out a white woman. And before she can go, she sees a man that she feels like she could be with forever. And again, it's the way that she names that he taught her how to fight, which means, and I want to hold space for this. I want to hold that there was a parentified relationship there, because I'm not gonna say that your boo can't teach you how to fight. I'm not saying that. But the way that like she brought it up, it just felt very childlike. And again, it's the ways that people infantilize black folk until they need black folk, and then black folk are automatically older than them. The way that black folk become adultified or parentified within connections with people, because people again look to black folks to be nurturing and uh overgiving in terms of care and compassion. And so, with that being said, it's the way that she looked at him in his eyes as if, you're supposed to keep on looking after me. You don't taught me how to fight. You don't taught me how to behave in perhaps in black spaces in a certain way. Again, it's the way she went up in that juke joint and was looking around at people and was just looking for who she knew and who knew her. She wasn't stopping by to talk to every motherfucking body. And then when Preacher Boy got close, he was like just trying to let people know, like, it's a white lady out here. And again, it's the way that like there being a white lady and like her being known by other people by her ancestry. Like again, it's all of that being happening within the prism of fucking Jim Crow, the plantation system still operating. Because again, the ways that the money, like, just for a little sidebar, the way that I just found out 11 countries have decided no longer to use American currency, it really made me think of that scene in the movie where they show the plantation money. And it really made me think about how that money was really black people's life. Like that was literally why they were using that money, because they were still having to use the plantation currency system. And again, it's the ways that we use American currency system, and that shit is off the plantation. Again, it's the ways the plantations are still alive and well. But no, there's a moment where there are people paying for things at the juke joint, and they have these wooden coins that say plantation nickel and shit like that. There's dollars that have like, they look like dollars we have today, only they're red and white, and they're clearly made out of like that same kind of paper fabric that we have dollars made out of today. And it's the ways that, like, at some point, the twins talk to each other and say, hey, they're paying us with plantation money. And the other brother said, that's fine. But the brother that's bringing up the plantation money is like, we're going to run out of actual fucking money at some point. And that aspect of it as well. It's like they having a good time. They literally just started a club in the South where people obviously love to drink and dance and enjoy fellowship. But at the same time, they're like, yo, we have money from the system that is including white people in the North. Like, again, it's the way that the North is not using that currency, right? And so they're taking all this money from Chicago. They brought all this money down there. And what happens next? They start to lose that money. That money starts to leave them very quickly because the plantation money is not worth the same. And so, again, it's the way that white supremacy has always set the currency, has always backed it by what? They say gold. But again, it's the way that when Mary goes outside and sees the gold, she's interested. It's the way that like people know what money is, people know what has real worth. And so again, it's the way that like even taking the money is acknowledging like this money has worth. And so again, it's the way that one twin was like, nah, we cannot keep taking this plantation money. And the other twin was like, no, 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 no. Like, you don't understand. Like, we have to, like, if we're going to stay down here, we have to work within the system. And again, it's the ways that like, it feels almost like the real question in probably many people's mind. Like, what would we do if the dollar ever got obsolete? Like, what do we have? And I feel like that's a wild concept, but again, it's the way the future is indigenous. And so it's the way some people know if they go to the thrift shop, they could flip something. Like, that right there is a very like not colonial, but like a very old practice of just getting something and knowing its real worth and being able to get other people to see it that way as well. But also the ways that we as people on in this country at least know that like you can barter, you can trade, and like that's a real way to get your needs met, and how that never really left. Like we're all still in some ways doing a favor for somebody and they're doing one back. But again, the ways that like that is the backbone of creating new communities is like the grapevine, like was said in the movie, like having to talk to someone to figure out what's going on over here, over here, over here. And Niba, thank you for saying that because it's the way that like that money is, like I said, black folks' lives were that money. Like money is literally our energy. Whenever you have money in your bank account, sweetie, you worked for that and probably so much more. But again, that money literally equals the labor you put into something. And so with that being said, it's the ways that he's like, we cannot devalue this because there are people here who still work within that plantation system. And so again, it's the way that they knew in the North, starting a club, bitch, they're getting raided. They're getting raided bad, bad. Excuse me. And so it's the way that like if they had created this club in the North, I don't think it would have gone off in a hitch like it did that the night that it went off. But them deciding we'd rather go down south and try to set boundaries around what the fuck we're going to deal with is going to be better than anything else. And it's the way that the Klansmen still were coming down there regardless. Like it's the way that like the movie really feels futile at points where it's like, damn, like the vampire and the white people, like good God, like it's like there's so many villains. Like Mary's a villain, and also Misogyn War is a villain in the movie, and that's why I think, getting back to King of Reeves, Justin J, he was being super candid about how there are so many black women being, outspoken, black fat women being outspoken about how, there was mammy-esque tropes happening with Annie. And I want to be candid that when I was reading that people said that they thought she was an auntie or a friend, I was fascinated because I hadn't seen the movie at that point. And so I'm like, how do you confuse a main love interest for a homie, lover, friend? Like, how do you confuse a main character who is supposed to be a love interest for an elder who is being helpful? Like, I literally was like, what? But then I have to remember she's fat. I have to remember she's fat and she's also deep dark skin. I have to remember that like our society literally couches lack of desire and lack of romance in certain people's experiences, and the ways that like people, or rather Justin had made the remark that like when they see the white passing character on screen, that she is there to be desired. It's very clear in the way she's shot that she is desirable, and it's obvious. And it's frustrating because I feel like while I see Annie as desirable in this movie, and I saw a fat black woman I thought looking quite radiant and beautiful, it still is within the context of patriarchy. And so we have to hold that, like, if you were Annie, like, did it seem like it made sense to come to you to fry fish for 1,000 people for a party that you're throwing? Does that seem romantic? No tea, no shade. No tea, no shade. Like, if a man reached out to you that you haven't seen in like 7 fucking years and he hit it big and he opened up a juke joint, I'm sorry, but baby, think about that real deeply. Like you're laying in bed, you got a tea, you got a cat or a dog or something, like you're just living cute, child free, minding your business, and your ex pop up on you talking about something. Can you fry fish for the whole community? Like, sweetie, I'm sorry, but in retrospect, Ryan needed help writing the script, and it's unfortunate because it shows. And again, Annie is beautiful. The woman who plays Annie Wunmi, beautiful. Wunmi, I'm not trying to fuck it up. If somebody knows how to say her name correctly, please help me. But I've been watching a lot of interviews, and I feel like they're avoiding her name or they're saying it mad different ways. So if anybody has a proper pronunciation, please help. They came back south because they was responsible for St. Valentine's Massacre, which was a fight against the Italian and Irish in Chicago, and the twins was playing both sides. Oh. Mm. Not the soon lost child. Not the offering of the soon lost child. Nima, you're a writer. Just thank you for sharing your thoughts, truly. And Queen, thank you for saying what you're saying because I didn't have that context. But even that, like, even the man that was trying to rob them being like, oh, I didn't think y'all was back because I thought y'all was in the mob with Al Capone, which is wild as hell because it's like, why do these folk have all this tea? Why do people know you was with the mob? That is wild. But again, it's the way that like once they gave that big ass briefcase full of money to them white people, I'm like, baby, you really think they're not coming back? No shade. Even when they was like, "What you gonna do with this place?" It's like, girl, why are you asking me questions? Get the fuck out of here. Not open the schools. They need to watch Beloved. I'm crying. Beloved is such a good movie. Beloved is such a good movie, man. It's wild though. Beloved is scary at first. I feel like the first time I ever seen it, I was very terrified. Um, he saw the value in the work they did to earn it despite its circulation worth. Absolutely. And again, it's the way that like if you were at if you were down there and your ex popped up after 7 years talking about, oh, we hit a lick, and even him saying that like, he survived and he came back, and she's like, baby, I've been praying for you. Just the ways that like that whole moment of like, it just felt like she was giving him so much love in that moment. And he seemed like, there's just moments where I want to be candid with y'all that there are men who are still trying to figure out how to be soft. And like, they have unfortunately been beat by other men. They've been cussed the fuck out by their mama. Like, ain't nobody really cared about them. I get it. There's people out here, there like just as much as there are femmes out here who emotionally were neglected, there are men as well. And so with that being said, there was a moment where, Annie and Smoke were talking, and Smoke was it just felt like through gritted teeth, like he was loving her and appreciating her. It felt like it didn't feel good to celebrate her. And unfortunately, it's the way that like Mary was the one in the movie, at least, that got to be super, super, super honest about all the love that she had for this person, about how much she wanted to be with someone. Annie was the character that got to express the most, which is frustrating because she is the white character. So her being on the screen as much as she was very much giving like, this movie's about her. Like, and I hate to say that, but people want to make it seem like Michael B. Jordan was the main character, and like, sure, by screen time. But at this point, with all the conversation coming out, it's very clear who is the star of the show, right? We can see it very clearly now. And I love that because I feel like that might give people more evidence that like white passing people are fucking derailing, that the chaos is us being in the space. Like any mixed person being in the room during black folks doing anything, very derailing. And somebody black recently said, we gotta do shit like quietly to get anything done, because if we tell anybody, next thing you know, here come white people to steal it. And again, it's the ways that is so what's happening in this movie is white people just stealing. And it's a beautiful movie, but it's about white people stealing. Like, it's about white people stealing joy, hope, futures. Like, that's what it's about. And again, it's like, will anybody white get to that point where they see that they stole? No, when Annie had to tell him how to kill her, I wanted to fucking fight. Cause that really blew me. Like, to your down to your death, you have to instruct a man the entire time. That was a moment, was it not? You got to teach this man how to help you leave the earth in a way that you agree with. I'm grateful she had somebody to tell, hey, kill me like this. But at the same time, it's like, damn. Like, that was a moment for me. I don't know if folks remember that moment, but she really had to instruct him how to take care of her so that she could move on past this realm. And at no point did Mary, and that's another thing, the way she was a plot device, that also irked me. It's like, Ryan, the movie 2 hours long. Why is a character explaining everything? It's the way that some things are implied in the movie, but and we all got questions, but it's the way we see very clearly Annie was being used. Like, we see that. And again, the people that can't see that, I implore you to listen to some black fat femmes talk about Annie. Don't listen to nobody else right now. Baby, he trusts her cooking. I'm screaming. Here's the thing. Here's my thing, AAA mommy. Do anybody got an ex from 7 years ago that moved away? I just want to know. Anybody been single for a minute and remember somebody? If that person pops up on you talking about they bought a nightclub and they want you to cook, sweetie, I pray you stomp on them right then and there. I pray you river dance on their ass. And I hope every stomp it hits and realigns their brain so they never do that shit again to anybody the fuck else. I hope you don't have to speak a word. I hope you just start dancing on their ass. Bachata 5000. Dead ass. I hope you hit a beady beady bum bum on their fucking back. Cause that's crazy. Imagine frying that much fish in the South at night. It was hot as fuck in there. Everybody looked wet. I'm sorry, but don't ever ask me to fry fish in a room where people are literally sweating till they stank. You even said, come sweat till you stank. How you going to tell me people could sweat to that point and then you want me to fry fish in a hot room of Badussy? That is crazy. I'm so sorry. And the fact that she had to have a baby in the spiritual realm, bitch, you can't even have fun in the spiritual realm. You can't even go to the spiritual realm club. You got a spiritual realm breastfeed. That's crazy. I'm so sorry. Imagine giving birth in the spiritual realm. I'm so sorry, babe, but no. It really was giving baby mama. It was giving who knows if he gonna come with me. I'm so sorry. Not that was the father of her child. Is he though? I feel like I'm so sorry. Taylor, I'm screaming. Hey boo. Not when Sammy ate Perline out and she's baby, let me clean up first. Oh, I'm screaming. Listen, so here's the thing. There's a critique going around about Perline. I don't know. Are y'all ready to talk about Perline? Do y'all really want to talk about Perline? I'm sorry, but do y'all want to talk about Perline? Okay. Because I feel like we got to get serious. So we're going to talk about Perline because we over here laughing and shit. And so I'm trying to be like, hold up. Because if we talk about Perline, we got to change the tone. And so you said the baby passed that birth and they met back with the baby in heaven. Okay, because I thought that he had got her pregnant after they had shahunched one time. Thank you so much. Again, somebody tried to say that people who didn't understand certain things in the movie have low skills. And I just want to be candid. Some of us were high. Some of us were high, man. I'm sorry, but the room was full of Caucasians. If you think I'm going to sit around Caucasians at a movie in the dark on high, sweetie, you're lucky I didn't bring a fucking drink. Where was her husband at, baby? Okay, so you said that there was a miscarriage that had happened before they had gone to Chicago. So this is a baby that existed previously, so it didn't even matter. Got it. Thank you so much. Because I'm gonna be real with you. I was a little bit twisted in the beginning. I was low-key falling asleep in the beginning because I was very high. And then I woke up a little bit because once the vampire stuff started, I started getting scared. Thank you. Thank each one teach one. Thank you so much. Thank you so fucking much. Because my ass was kind of like, what the fuck? But again, him leaving flowers at a baby grave. Okay. All right. But why didn't she come to Chicago? Like, again, it's the way that he left her down there. I'm sorry. After the miscarriage, the fact that she got less care in the movie than Mary, I feel like it still hits different. And that's just how I feel. Like, I feel like Mary got way more care and concern. Like, again, it's the way he was telling her, leave, bitch, leave. And she talking about I'll beat up everybody in here. Why are you on that type of time, Mary? That is crazy as fuck. It is a club, ho. Like, I'm so sorry. Like I said before, there should have been somebody inside to do security and somebody to do security outside. So if somebody have to go take a dookie up here or something, somebody could come sit at the door. I'm not saying it would have worked out any better. I'm just saying Mary should have got slapped the fuck for that because that's wild as hell. Like, again, it's the way white passing people say stuff and people don't check them. It's the way I have not heard not one person say anything about her saying she's going to fight a room full of black women who were drunk and having a good time, not paying no mind to her ass. And it's the way when he told her to leave, it had nothing to do with any black woman that was in there. But she immediately felt like the danger was the black women. We must address that. I know we're talking about Perline, but at some point we must address that she really thought it's time to fight. And it's like, who? Like, he's trying to probably fucking save his life from dealing with your ass. Like, he probably don't want you around him, bitch. He's trying to start a new life. Like, Lowest of Keys, it was giving he was trying to start a new life without her. And she's like, nah, you mine forever, bitch. And again, it's the ways that there are some black men who know what that's like. Like, there are some black women that know what that's like. You try to get away from somebody white, and they're like, nope, I'm going to be in your life forever. And it's like, ooh, you scary. When he first goes to ask her to cook, she meets him in the doorway of her home and he's leaving flowers in the grave. It was giving sad baby daddy because he couldn't provide for her and take her away from their hurt because they don't have a baby anymore. But hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. I do appreciate Ryan making them end up together. I do appreciate that in ways, but again, it's the way that like I never saw her just relaxing. Like I want to talk about that. How like when we first met Mary, she casually going to the train station, going to be white again. What stress is she having, bitch? She getting on the train and going to be white. Like Mary actually put herself in danger multiple fucking times and other people because she really was white. And that's the other thing about it is like at this point, the way whiteness is not just about looking white. Like people can operate very whitely, very whitishly. And so it's the ways that I know I've definitely put people in danger trusting the wrong white fucking people. Absolutely. I know I've tried to get money from somebody white or support from somebody white and it ended up being bad. Like absolutely. I've absolutely been tricked by white people thinking I could trust them for support because I know white people. And so with that being said, it's the ways that like when you trust white people, you actually are putting people in danger. And it's awkward because again, there are times where I don't want to say I have no choice, but I feel like I should take this support, but I have to also hold that like something could happen. Something strange could happen. Even now, like a friend, a white person reached out to me to offer me a ticket to go to a concert. And I told my friend about it because I'm like, hey, like I don't want to go to the concert like without my partner, and they only got one ticket. And they were like, absolutely. They're like, I would love to go to this concert. But I still had to be like, yeah, but like, you know, they're white people. I don't know them like that. You know what I mean? Like, you still got to give a little disclaimer. And I think about how Mary never got to the point where she was like getting to know these white people to give a disclaimer, and how that can be very dangerous to say somebody white is cool. But like, you don't know that. You know that they want to fuck you probably. And again, it's the ways that like it felt like for Mary to fuck him. Like, again, Mary wasn't on screen that much. She was on screen a lot, but she wasn't on screen that much. But I want to be candid that there were multiple moments where she was asked to leave, where she was asked to get away. And the ways that when men set boundaries against women that are attractive, people will be like, he don't mean that. And it's awkward because it's the way that like when a woman is beautiful and tells a man, get away from me, people are like, she means that. Get away from excuse me, if a woman is beautiful and tells any man to get away from her, people will be like, yes, get the fuck away from my sis. But the way that like a beautiful woman will do something to a man that's awkward, and other people will be like, I don't know, he probably like that. Like, it's awkward. It's weird. It's why it's the way we don't take like male assault victims seriously, because people really assume that all men are hypersexual and want all sexual experiences coming towards them when that's not fucking true. But if we live in a world where we assume that men are always up for it, then we have moments like Mary being like, hey, let's go fuck. And again, what told her that he wanted to have sex with her? Nothing was indicating that that was what he wanted, but she knew that she could get him in a compromising position by being pushy. Because what is he going to do? Put hands on her? Push her out the door? No, he's not doing that, because again, there's too many witnesses in the room. And notice that it didn't even matter that all the witnesses were black folk. It didn't matter because she was in the room, a whole white woman. Anything that happens to that bitch, someone's going to tell it, especially with a gun pointed at the head, especially if some white people from the north come looking for her ass. Again, it's the way that like her being there and being in any proximity where any like just her being there was the danger. But the way that he was trying to tell her, go before something happens to you, the whole time he's like, go before something happens to us, bitch. Like that's what I felt. I felt like the vibe was very much like, please leave. Like you're not adding anything to this atmosphere. If anything, you're making people scared. Cause it's the way Preacher Boy, you see Preacher Boy happy as fuck to see his cousins. You see him excited as fuck to be seemingly having a adult moment or a coming of age moment. But when he see Mary, he like, hold up. It's the way that he got scared as fuck seeing Mary. And again, it's the way that like Mary never died. It's the way that like that fear he had still lives on. Cause even towards the end of the movie, when they're popping up on him at the fucking restaurant, it's the way he was like, oh shit, I'm terrified. That's not good. Again, he ain't in all the scenes in the movie, he was excited to see his cousins. And it wasn't until the end where he looked at his cousin and that white bitch and was like shook. Again, it's the way his face told it all. Like he trusted his cousins. He trusted them a lot. He wanted them to, he wanted them to succeed. That's why he was willing to go to the motherfucking to the juke joint and perform. He wanted to be a part of this moment. He wanted this very bad. Um Yes, the internet is lusting over her character too. Like, wow, light skin is hypnotic, and if that's the thing too, it's like light skin is not hypnotic, but whiteness does purport to, like whiteness does like mesmerize on screen when it like again, it's strategic that Mary was placed where she was placed. We have to hold that as well. That Mary was placed where she was for a reason. It's the way I remember that like colors mean things in movies and the way that Annie was wearing a blue dress. And I just think about how like as beautiful as she looked sad. She never looked really happy, even during sex, even during like every moment. I never seen her look happy. Like the actress outside of the movie, completely different energy. And it makes me so sad that like she played such a downtrodden, matronly character. And I know it hurts some people to hear that, but we must talk about it so that it don't happen again. Like that's where I'm at. We have to sound off on shit like this because Ryan needs to know like if you want to include black women in something, get a black woman on the writing team because you're not able to do it. It's just obvious. Like again, I know some people don't want to hear me say that shit, but I'm going to say it. There were moments where I was upset that Mary was being held the way she was throughout the movie because Annie's right there. Meanwhile, the sloppy ass writing of having Annie tell the entire motherfucking the hate shit and doing the readings like baby, it's the way they used her every step of the way. She never was on screen to exist. And I want us to consider that when we see people in movies, especially marginalized folk, we got to look at what they're being told to do. We have to look at what's being asked of them. We have to consider like why they're the one to do the thing. And it's the way that they couched all the information about what could be happening in terms of like, demons, spells, and things like that. All of those things in her character and made her an oracle and very much dehumanized her because at no point did her character say, you want me to fry fish for all these motherfucking people? Bitch, I haven't seen you in a long ass time and you're actually the baby father of my dead motherfucking child. Like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like that would have been a real ass moment, like you dipped out after our baby, died. Like, there needs to be more time between this. But again, it's the way that there is no time and then we'll ask you for crazy ass shit. Like, I feel like that's another part of the movie is that men will ask you for a lot. And notice he taught two light skinned characters how to negotiate. And I think about that too, that like I didn't see Annie negotiating with him. I saw Annie being like, anything you say, baby, I got you. And it's the way he taught the little light skinned girl how to fucking negotiate. And the Asian woman, I feel like he taught her how to negotiate as well, which is why they had that scene on some he was trying to help women know their worth. But notice, not Annie. At no point did he say, Annie, I'm going to give you this much money. I'm going to build this house for you. Like, there was never any offering, unless I'm wrong, but I never saw that. We can circle back to Perline again. My bad. It's so easy to go back to Mary's character, but I'm trying to juxtapose it with Annie's character because, again, they were the purported love interest, and the way that they were handled was completely different. You said Perline when she was performing, I thought she had been bitten. Then I wondered if they were trying to make her the Jezebel trope. I mean, Perline, in my humblest opinion, was like that elder who is like it felt like there was a coming of age story that was centered around Preacher Boy, that was centered around like how a boy becomes a man, and it felt like they were using Perline as like that elder woman who is experienced. And again, it's the way that there are a lot of men who feel like they want to have sex with someone experienced first so that they can like go towards a person their age with the experience. Like I've heard men talk like that. And so I want to hold that maybe that's part of it, is that he wanted to experience sex from someone who knew what it was so that he could go. Cause again, the way his cousin was teaching him how to eat pussy and the way that he was trying to try it out on somebody, like there's a part of me that feels like her openness, her desire, it could be a lot of things, but her performing on that stage was electric. She looked beautiful. I was shook, but there was also a part of me that feels like it made me think of how like sometimes people will think people are the devil or people um are they're touched by a spirit, and really whole time like they're just inhibited by the music, they're inhibited by their art, their creativity. And so it just felt like there was a moment where like we were supposed to see her as the bad thing in that moment. Like again, I feel like the way the movie operated was very fascinating because there were moments where I'm looking at a character and I'm supposed to like be mad at them or be upset with them. And I think about that too, about how like there are moments in the movie where you're kind of like, what's going on? Or you're kind of like, why did you do that? And like all of the ways that like people were upset. But again, it's like there are vampires, bitch, and white supremacists. Like it's like again, it's the ways that it's so easy to be like, well, what's going on? And it's like, fuck that. Let's focus on getting safe. Like let's focus on freedom, whatever the fuck that looks like. But again, it's the ways that you don't get a chance to think in the middle of white supremacy unfolding, in the middle of fucking white danger. You don't, there's no moment to catch your breath. Like you actually have to just go. And again, it's the way that like Mary exploited that. Mary exploited her mixedness and the safety that people felt around her, even if it wasn't real. There was still some sense of like even when Preacher Boy was trying to figure out like, is she cool? Like that whole thought process of like, is she cool? I think some people really thought of that as like a moment where Mary was being like othered, and that's awkward as fuck because like Mary was never the other. Mary was always privileged in the room. Mary was never black. And again, it's the way that she moved in the space that lets you know she's not black. It's the way she snatched that man up and said, let's go in the room. He couldn't stop her. And in the ways that like I think Ryan was trying to expose that like white women are stronger than black men in this society, that like they are the women that have power over black men in this society. And perhaps that's why he made this movie, to like explain the historical relationship of white women, perhaps sexually assaulting, but also being able to be more powerful than a black man, that a black man can't stop a white woman who's determined to have him. And again, there are so many movies where we see, maybe not so, you know what, let me not do that because I feel like I haven't seen many movies where it was the opposite way, where there was like a white master who was like going, who was like making a black woman like be his, be mine. Like I don't think I've ever seen that movie. Correct me if you have, but it's the way that it was very much like this white woman was like, you're mine now, and I'm gonna make you mine. And she couldn't make him mine by persuasion. It's the way that before she was bit, she was doing her best shot. Like she was giving her best shot clearly, because she's like, I want to be with you. I don't want to leave. Like I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. And he's like, I can't do this. Like, bitch, my life, like, bitch, I'm starting a new life. Like, he knew better than to fucking get connected with her, because he's like, bitch, I don't know what my night's gonna go through. I don't know what tonight's gonna mean for me. I might meet somebody tonight. That's what I was giving. That's what it was giving me. It was giving, bitch, I got a new life out here. Leave me alone. And the way she was offended, like, bitch, you just left, and that was like really like I think it was hard for her to hold that. Yeah, baby, they didn't just leave to go get an opportunity. You got dumped, bitch. And like again, that's an awkward thing for someone to move away after they break up, or a move away breakup. I'm sure that's wild, but it's the way that it felt like she was like, "Where you been?" And it's like, girl, you're married to a white man. Like you got a whole new life. But again, it's the way she wasn't content, clearly, and her discontentment must have mattered. It had to matter. She must make him understand. I need to be with you because I cannot be with a white man no more. And again, it's the ways that being around white people, you know. And I'm not trying to do too much, but I feel like dating white people has been a journey. I'm not gonna do too much, but I'm just gonna say, like, if you are around people of color and then you date white people, it's a fucking journey. And again, the more that like you're in spaces where there's no white people, it does become increasingly hard to actually hold white relationships in a certain regard because again, it's the way that if I bring somebody black around somebody white, I'm always like, hey, if anything, say pineapples, say fruity pebble, like say something, because I will cuss them out and or we will leave. Like let me know, because again, it's the ways that like white people will make people feel uncomfortable, and then folks be like, "Why? Well, you brought me around them." So, and again, I try to tell white people all the time, like, if you do something weird to anybody around me, I'm going to be the one that holds that in community, not you. You're going to get to walk away and be a weird white person to somebody else. Like, so I have to be mindful about who the fuck I bring around who, because again, it's the way that, like, I can't trust all of y'all. And again, it's the way Mary never learned that. And again, it's the way Mary's a grown ass bitch. It's the way they definitely in their fucking late 20s, early 30s at least. And it's the way that she knows how the fucking shit goes. That's why she hiding out. And that's why she pretending to be Caucasian. Like she knows. So again, it's the ways that like you realize at some point as a mixed person that like everybody can't be around everybody. And it's not on some like segregation shit, but it low key is because again, it's the way that I would rather be around the black folk, the people of color, than the white folk. Because 9 times out of 10, even the most kindest white people have said and done strange things. And so you honestly have to be on alert around them in a way you don't have to be as much around BIPOC. And I'm not saying everybody perfect. I'm just saying that people that are decolonizing who are of color are operating much differently than white people, even if they think they know about decolonization. And the ways that like being around white people can be a liability. It can be dangerous. And I've said this before, being kind to white people can be dangerous. Like treating them with respect, kindness, it can actually lead to your downfall. And it's awkward because their self-hatred will lead them to be delusional and think that you're playing with them. And it's awkward. Like I've been kind to white people and they have come at me so crazy and I did nothing to them, but it's more that they were expecting me to be a bitch. They wanted to hate me already. The fact that they couldn't, the fact that they had no reason, ooh, they were sick. The fact that I was being kind to them, oh, they were mad. And again, it's the ways that like some people already have a script in their head. We were talking about this yesterday. Like when you see, like if you think of a black woman, think of a black woman smiling, being happy. Like think about how limited those images are in mainstream media. A black woman just having a good day, happy, listening to music, no horror, nobody coming to harm her, nobody trying to trick her into a relationship that's one-sided. Again, it's so hard to find that in your aggregate and mentally, and it's not because it doesn't exist. It's because they don't want us to be able to see shit like that. And again, it's the way that this movie does show us a deep dark skinned woman being put to work and then being put to death by the lover, the same man that said, "Do something for me, do me a favor," had to end up killing her. That's a lot. And again, it's the ways that like I don't think he thought about the climate we're in. I don't think he talked to anybody black who was fat and a woman. I don't think he did. I don't think so. And I don't think he cared about the actress's notes. Cause again, I can't imagine like someone fucking me from behind after asking me to fry some fish. And I'm like, yeah, that's giving romantic. It's giving lead. Like, not at all. That script is crazy. We are speaking about sinners, indigenous, aboriginal. Hey boo. Hope you're doing well. Not he tried to give Annie money, she didn't want it. But here's the thing: him trying to give her money and her saying, "I don't want it," is giving people pleasing. It's giving please stay. It's giving if I do a good job, if I take nothing, if I take less. Again, even her saying no to the money, living where she lived, looking how she looked, sweetie, she needed that fucking money. But it's the way that I feel like I don't know if other folks have felt this before, but there have definitely been times where I said I'm gonna do something for somebody or I'll be there, and it was just because I wanted them to see like I love you, I care about you. It was not a good deal for me. It was not a good arrangement for me. But I wanted to show through my actions I care. I am here. You have somebody here. Again, it's the ways that like I don't think that she wanted to fry that fucking fish. Like I think that she was trying to show him I'm still here. Even though our baby ain't here, even though you left me a long time ago, even though you ain't been writing, even though you ain't been sending nothing back from Chicago, ugly bitch. Like honestly, I'm so annoyed because it's like, girl, that truck was full of shit. You couldn't have sent a care package. I'm sorry, but I don't believe that. I don't believe it. Annie was offered money by Smoke to cook, but she didn't want to take it because she felt it was cursed. I'm screaming, not she felt it was cursed. I feel like even that moment is wild. What do you mean you think the money cursed, but you frying fish in the juke joint? Like again, I just feel like the script does not add up for me. If folks want to drag me, please do, because again, I don't know nothing. I'm just reading. I like how old girl said she was family instead of saying she was black when the white vamps asked her why she was allowed in. I'm screaming. I mean, hear me out. Her saying she was family is a nice way to say, like, I'm connected to these folk and they love me and we care about each other. I hear that. But it's the way that so many white passing people right now are bugging the fuck out. Like, it's really getting quite wild. I've just seen some threads that just had me wanting to throw up. Like, bitch, again, a white passing person popped up on me talking about some Mary was still a N with the hard R, bitch. Like, literally put N with the hard R in fucking in code on threads. And I asked her, I said, can you please delete this? Because there's no need to write this anti-black slur right now. There's no need. Like, there's no need. Like, no, like there's no need. We're talking about a fucking quintaroon, bitch. We're talking about a motherfucking octoroon. Like we're talking. There's language, and then she gonna say those are slurs. She gonna say quintaroon, octoroon is the slur. I'm like, baby. And I was like, it's clear to me that you want to fight and you want to be rude. You want to be just like dehumanizing because you keep on using the N word with the hard R in code for some reason, even though I asked you to delete the shit. Like there are people on that center's post that are gonna read that for what? And see your ugly ass white face. Like for what? And again, that's the whole fucking point of Mary, bitch. The confusion and the chaos. Cause everybody trying to figure out, is Mary black? Who cares? She's clearly not, but honestly, we have more things to talk about. Let's talk about Pearline though. Queen. That's what I'm saying. Nima, like it doesn't make sense. Like she didn't want the money. It was giving virtue signaling. Like, let's be real. I really feel like in the end, I think Ryan knew that this character was gonna be polarizing for fat black femmes. And I think he was like, well, let's make her a saint. Let's make her be the woman that didn't want any money. Like I feel like even doing that mammified her. Why the fuck would she fry that much fucking fish for free? That doesn't make any fucking sense. You could tell everybody moving for money, and I guess they're trying to make her seem spiritually led and like, oh, she don't want to take the money. But it's like, girl, why would she even be in the building then? If the blood money bought it, the fuck? Excuse me. Like again, it's giving that they wanted to make her superior in some way spiritually, but they didn't really want to like actually elevate her. And so they had her frying fish and also rolling motherfucking like throwing like they had her doing hoodoo because I'm not trying to describe everything, my bad. But they had her doing hoodoo and magic on their for their benefit. And also frying fish. Like, I'm sorry, but like the way that they did this was so crazy. If the Asian woman got the catfish, why can't she fry it? That's the part for me. Like the Asian lady got the catfish. Ask her to fry it. You already got the bitch with the fish. Why did like again? I know somebody gonna be like, oh well, they didn't want no Asian fried fish, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. The Vietnamese be making some good ass fried food. Let's stop playing games. They definitely were frying fish if they had catfish there. They definitely were making sandwiches and shit. They absolutely were a general store that had some food for sure. I mean, her recharging his mojo bag and her trying to like, do something for him. Again, it was all giving like she exists to be taken from. And I know some people don't want that. That's what I'm saying. I wish she was invited because he wanted her to have a fun time. That would have made sense to me that like he invited her to be there as someone to have fun. The fact that she's in the kitchen frying up fish and then she pops out conveniently to say, hey, when they get me, make sure you stab me in the fucking heart. Make sure my connection to like, girl, even to the end, you giving away plot devices. I don't know, bitch. Like, I just don't think Ryan thought about this. I think unfortunately, like this script was very much written by a black man. And you could tell because again, this way that the black femme characters only existed to be like cautionary fucking tales. Like I feel like Pearline getting her coochie 1988. It's the way everybody talking about Perline a predator. And honestly, I'm gonna hold space for the fact that Perline is clearly an older woman. She notes that he is much younger than her and that it is not like what is he doing? And so with that being said, it's giving like younger black male fantasy fulfillment, like low key. Like I just feel like this movie was a lot of things. I feel like it was black male representation mostly. And they showed all types of black men. They showed black men that are musicians and knew how to cut a deal. They showed black men that were, bootleggers and willing to do what the fuck they had to do to make it work and, running businesses. Like they showed the mobility of black men. That if a black man wanted to get somewhere, he could, but he had to do something to get it. And if a black man wanted to sit all day and smoke and drink, he could do that too. And someone will facilitate that. It's showing that like there's a world that facilitates all types of black men moving all types of ways. And yet the black women we see, they stuck in that fucking town. A little bit of her coochie getting ate. I'm not going to say she's not a predator. What I will say though is that he definitely aggressed her, and I'm just gonna hold that. I'm gonna hold that like maybe he was 18. I don't know, baby. If he wasn't, let me know. Excuse me. But if it was inappropriate for folks, if folks didn't appreciate that, I'm gonna be so fucking for real. I was not focusing on that scene. I know Perline and him had a moment. I know that Perline was an elder. I know that, but I don't know much more. Mm, Queen. Hmm. Can you share with me another director that you've seen this with? Because I would love to hear more about that idea. Like that's a really good idea that you brought up. Like feeling like male directors show their fantasies in their films. If you have someone else that you'd like to bring up as well, please, I'd love to talk more about that aspect. You feel like it does make sense. Annie and Mary are foils of each other and both plot devices. Mary to harm and Annie to save. And see, that's the other thing too. It's like a lot of times the woman in the story is like the reason why anything's even fucking happening. Like it's the way that the plot device is always the femme character, and she don't really got a lot to say about herself. And it's the way that like we don't know who Annie is, and I can tell that there was a desire. Like again, it's giving like liberal representation, identity politics shit, where it's like we got a fat black woman in a sex scene, you guys. Like it's giving that. And there's like the underlying like reality is that like they didn't have any like fat body positive people to talk about how this scene could be elevated, because again, had she been on top, had she maybe even been praying at some point while she was fucking him, like I really feel like they could have really did more with that sex scene. It felt disempowering. It felt kind of like I asked you to fry some fish, I guess I could at least give you some dick. I hate to say that, but it reminds me of like in like some of these shows where like they don't live together, but they got a baby. Where like the man will come over for some dick, for some pussy every now and then, just a cup of pussy, please. A meal and some coochie, and then disappear. And it's the way that he was like, "Look, I need you to cook the meal later, but let me get some coochie now. Like I'm giving you some dick today for some fried fish tomorrow or tonight." You know what I mean? And that's what it was giving. It was giving, I'm gonna give you some of this dick, but I'm gonna need you to get down there and get me some more of that fried fish. It could have, but they spent all their money on fucking trying to make us give a fuck about a vampire that was ugly. Like, I really feel like they should have found somebody cuter to be the vampire, because it's the way Cook from Skins is not it. Cook from Skins UK, not it. Not it. No shade. People were talking about they should have got the Cullens. Bitch, I'm screaming. I'm screaming. That would have been funny to be a tie-in, but it really, they're not doing it. They're not doing that. But they could have found a cuter vampire, bitch. Like I'm kind of disgusted. Like, ew. Remick was not cute, bitch. And you know I'll fuck with a white person. I'll like a little white peen every now and then, bitch. But no, no, no. That vampire was busted. And then on top of it, the white people he was recruiting, I was just like, good God. Like the way they were singing songs and shit. Whoa, they were annoying the fuck out of me, bitch. Like they were really blowing me. Like every time we were on the white people, I was like, ugh, commercials. Like that ass, bitch. Like the white people was commercials in the movie. Mm. Ooh, ooh. Sammy went and a boy came out a man. Hmm. And see, even that aspect, I appreciate you for saying that so much because I'm thinking about the aspect of like going into that bathroom and coming out and all hell breaking loose, like how you go in inexperienced, right? And like there's experiences in life where you don't know nothing, and then after them, you feel like you know a lot. And so there was a moment where it felt like they juxtaposed Sammy. Like I feel like Sammy is the only character that had a storyline that made sense. And again, I know I'm saying a lot of things, but I feel like the twin storyline, I'm just like, baby, okay, so Capone let you leave? Did you kill him? Like, okay, all right, and then okay, so the St. Valentine's massacre, okay, y'all was playing both sides, and now y'all back home. No name change, no disguise. Like I feel like that would have been powerful if they had like did something different to themselves to look different. But again, maybe because they were coming home, they wanted people really to know who the fuck they were. But it's the way that like they came back into town after doing something, that could get you got. And again, it's the ways that like they're back home now and they're setting intentions around what they want around them. And they said, Annie, come fry fish and get some dick. And they said, Mary, get thee from behind me. They said, Mary, get back. And again, it's the way that Mary never had to leave. It's the way Mary never had to go. Mary didn't have no plan. It didn't matter. The woman with the plan, the woman that knew everything, she's the one that had to die. Boring. I'm crying. Not Persia White. I hope she's doing well. Not too much on Cook. Cook is busted. I'm so sorry. Cook was never my like he was. I never was watching for him. Never was watching for him. He always just. There's just something radish about him. He got a rat vibe. I'm so sorry. I just feel like that sentence is crazy as fuck. But I just feel like again, it's the way he got some rat energy. Y'all could love him all day. More for you, bitch. More for you. You ain't gotta worry about me. Cause right now I gotta fight with bitches over Michael B. Jordan. Like I already know bitches talking about that they're his wife. I don't know who told you that. I don't know who lied to you. But I need you to get off our property. Like nurse. I'm calling the nurse because nurses help people. So y'all can have Cook. Y'all got it. Y'all really got it. But I feel like the way that the Michael B. Jordan girls be boxing, I gotta get strong. I gotta get my weight up or something, bitch. I gotta like turn some of this fat into muscle. Cause bitch, I already know I'm about to be boxing. Like it's the way. It's the way. I just feel like I was obsessed when he became Killmonger. I feel like that character, like I can't even watch Black Panther with nobody, bitch. I can't watch Black Panther in a room with others, bitch, because it's the way I see Killmonger come on screen. I'll be like, ooh, bitch, the way I be making noises, bitch, I'm acting a fool. I'm glad. I'm glad I have that for me. Capote was responsible for the massacre in jail, IRL. So I'm assuming in the movie we are to believe they play both sides. So the one party is dead, the other incarnate. So no one was coming. Got it. I wonder how Michael B. dates in real life with all his fame. I mean, I have no notes. I have no receipts. I feel like I'm late to the party. I feel like I don't really pay attention to him like deeply. Like I feel like he's hot, but I feel like every time I look too deep into a celebrity, I get disappointed. So right now, I'm gonna just say he fine as hell. And that's that. That's that. That's what I've got. That's what I've got. Um, Tarantino fantasizes about feet. His films are infamously full of feet shots of women. Jai, thank you for telling us. Yo, that is wild to think about. Yuck. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, bitch, and fuck up my algorithm. I'm gonna have to go on incognito or some shit. Cause I'm screaming right now. Like, listen, bitch, it's like the feet people are so interesting to me because it's like feet can look all types of ways. I've seen like every type of foot. Every time I encounter them, I'm like, what kind of foot though? I'm like, which one is your pleasure? Because again, it's like again, there are so many types of feet out here. I'm like, do you like all feet? And they clearly don't. Um, I'm dying. Again though, I think when it comes down to the movie, it's got people talking for a reason. There's a lot of symbology in there. Um There was a white passing character, which again, I feel like even the concept of white passing is not accurate. Like, I feel like maybe that character was passing for white around white people, but she was a white character and people only knew her because of her proximity to blackness, meaning that she was not black. Like, if she was a black person, people would know that. But there were clearly characters on screen scrutinizing her looks, meaning that she was getting the look of, what are you? People were asking, what is she? Like, who is she? And what is she? And again, that's not something that happens to black people. We just have to wake that up more, because there's a lot of people that want to like I'm seeing this movie shift to a point where people are talking about it like it's today. I don't know if anybody else is seeing that, but I'm seeing a lot of people acting like it's today. And it's like, no, 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 no. Like, today, like, the reappraising of who is black has already begun. Like, we're not doing this again. Like, black folks don't have to go through this again, please. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. No. Cut the cameras, dead ass. Mm-mm-mm. Again, I don't feel like I'm a Power Ranger. I'm not trying to do too much, but again, it's the way I've seen a lot of white passings be like, she's black. And I'm like, she actually never was black, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. It's like the way that folks are trying to say, like, even then she was black. Like, no, she wasn't. That's why all that was happening was happening. Notice how all the black people knew that they were black people. There were people who were questioning her being around all these black people because she's white. Like, hello. And again, even if you want to be candid, even if you want to be more accurate and say that she's mixed, that's fine. But I promise y'all, I'm seeing so many white people talk about their mixed children like they're black. And it's so weird, because there's moments where I wonder, like, are you fostering that in them? Like, are you unwilling to listen to black women who are being honest? And see, that's the thing. People saying you are what you look like is like a moment, because again, I know there are people who will ask me what I'm mixed with, but then there's moments where people will tell me, well, there are people that will confirm for me that in this moment I am a black woman. Like, there are moments where like people will do things to reinforce to me that in this moment I see you as a black person. And I know it's the case, because there are moments where I talk about being mixed and they get kind of like, what? And so again, it's the way that we have to hold that, like, mixed is many looks. There are many mixed people who look many ways. Mixed can be brown skin, can be light skin, can be white. Like, there are many looks of mixedness. And because a lot of us are living in a tribalist system in America, where people do think like if they see you a certain way, that you are gonna be like this or that or this or that. And again, part of the one drop rule employs lookism, and is operating under the idea that if I see you and I think of you as white, or I can hold you as a white person, that therefore you are a white person. And so I'm holding that for mixed people who are mixed and who are showing up in the world looking white, that could be erasing for sure. That, like, your experience is not as a white person, and so therefore people thinking that you are white is part of perhaps the harm that you're going through. And again, I know some people may not think being thought of as white is harmful, but for people that are not white and that are mixed, that do not subscribe to being white or don't want to be referred to as white, who are not just white in terms of their ancestry, I can hold space for like wanting to be seen as a whole mixed person for sure. But at the same time, if people confuse you as white and it's obvious when they do, or when people are, not asking more questions about you, or like not even like, again, even interested. Because again, it's the way that, like, depending on which kind of hair I have, people will really give me like 30 questions about like where I could be from. People will make up places where I could be from and ask me to confirm if that's where I am from. And that's how I know like mixedness is many looks, because again, it's the way people have all these different places. People are like, are you Tongan? Are you Cambodian? Are you Hawaiian? Again, all of those things that were mentioned are not one look, are they? Like, there are many people that live in those places, and still It's the way that people are like, you are maybe this. And so I have to hold that like whiteness has colonized every race and that there are many mixed people who are able to pass for or be in certain spaces and people will hold them as that race, that community, that culture, whatever the case may be. And so I have to hold that like there are a lot of times where, if the event says it's for black folks, I don't go because I don't want to be having anyone black there like trying to figure out like why am I here? Because again, there was definitely a moment early on in my life where like somebody black definitely was like trying to figure out like why or how I got to this event that was very much for black folk. And at the time I was wearing like the Beyonce wig with the dark root blonde. And again, I'm not going to play anybody. Like I am a mixed person always. I was always mixed. And so wearing hair like that made me look even more non-black. And so that black woman asking me like, how did you find out about this? Like, how did you know to come here? Like that was her genuinely trying to figure out like, how are you here? You are not a black person, but she did not feel safe to say that. Like the questions she was asking me were very kind, but in the moment I'm like oblivious as fuck. And I'm just like, oh, like I came with such and such. And again, it's the way that like there are black folks who will always tell me about events. And I'm not saying that they're always for me, but it's something that I have to hold for myself that like it could be confusing for me to show up at a black event. And I have to just hold that because again, just because some people see me as black does not mean everybody does. And that's something I have to hold for myself. That's not anybody to find out. Like I try to be candid about that. If anybody says anything around me that like indicates that like they think I'm a black person, I do have to be candid. And again, there are people out there who want to be seen as black. And so they're going out of their way to do certain things to be confused. And so with that being said, I have to also hold that like this is a forever conversation. Like there are going to be mixed people forever who are going to have to be candid about their mixedness because that is a part of American history as well. There were black people living in America before chattel slavery. And this is not me saying that there are not black folks who this is not me trying to do too much. I'm just trying to offer that like when we think about who is black, when we think about deep dark skinned people, like there's so many stories to tell and we don't know all of them. And so I'm trying to also hold that like we don't know, but there are black people everywhere. Like there are black people on every fucking continent, and people forget that. People forget that a lot. I'm crying. I'm crying. The screen is black because it's a podcast, so we're just talking today, Smither nuts. Thank you for asking. I'm crying. I'm trying to think if I have any more to say about this movie. Hmm. 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 I feel like again, I'm not trying to play Perlene. I do think that there's more information to probably get from that scene than just like an older woman as a lady creep. But I do think that unfortunately, because the character that we're dealing with is seen as a younger cousin, like it does give like, this was inappropriate. And also, like, even the way that a man would direct a younger man to do what he did, like, again, I'm not saying that, like, the story can't be realistic. I'm just sitting with the reality that, like, there are men creating images of situations for men that can be disempowering. Like, they could have had Sammy have a crush on someone his age. Like, there was no reason to have him try to do what he did. But I think again, it was trying to hammer home that, Sammy is young and just getting out there, just learning. And again, it's like, sure, like finding an elder. But again, I feel like it's such a lazy trope to be like, this older woman is who's going to teach you about sex. When it's like, why couldn't he just be a fumbling fool with a person his age? Like, again, I think that gives more context that like, that he finds someone at, then again, he's at the juke joint. There's a bunch of elders there. Like, how many young girls could be at the juke joint? I have to hold that too. That these were his older cousins bringing him around an adult situation and also, telling him instructions earlier on in the movie. So, and I have to just hold that that's like a part of how men talk. Like men talk to other men about sex a lot. And again, there are younger men that want to know and they'll ask their big cousin, they'll ask somebody. And again, with the rise of the internet, I think there's more people watching sex and then actually talking about it and like what it's feeling like and what it looks like. And maybe that's like part of the story as well, that like there are men that want to be sexual, want to know more, and they never ask their partners, they ask other men, and that's part of the disconnect. I wish you that I would love to know how we got the difference between the twins' dad and Sammy's dad. I would also like to know, was the twins' father musical? Because Sammy's guitar was his. Hmm. I appreciate you. Thank you, Nima, for saying that. Because again, it's the way I'm not sure if Sammy was just the cousin, like the way that he became the focus towards the end of the movie had me just thinking about how I don't know. I just feel like Ryan had so much to work with, and I just again wish it was a series because it feels very much like so many characters came out of the clear blue fucking sky. And again, it's the way that like there are movies where like a character pops up and like I can see that like this, it feels organic, and nothing felt organic. It all felt very planned. And again, I'm not trying to say that like the directed movie can't be planned. Like, of course it was planned, but it just felt so contrite at moments. Like, oh, of course this is happening now. Of course, I don't know. There were just moments where I was like, ugh, the movie was dragging for me. Like, I think Mary pleading to be in this man's life, it was very boring because again, it was very much like, what don't you get? Like he does not want to be with you. But again, it's the way that she was really about to throw her whole Caucasian life away to be with this man. And how did she seduce him? With her white woman privilege and also coochie. And so it's also giving like, watch out for the white women's coochie. Watch out for white women using their power against you. But it's like, is that really what they're trying to say? Because again, I feel like if we look at it a different way, it's very much saying that the white woman has power and she can take you with her. High key. It's giving the black woman will people please and will say yes to a bunch of shit. And in the end, she'll lose her life for it. Like low key, bitch. Like if you look at it like that, it's kind of fucking more sinister that like the black woman who was the most helpful character was the one that in the end caught all the hell. And the character that brought the hell inside is the one that gets to have whatever she fucking wanted, whatever she pleased. It maybe shows that like white women are actually the true villain, that the white woman was actually the true villain, but like maybe people are too busy lusting to see it. And again, maybe he was lusting too much to see it too. And maybe he did see it at some point, but now it's harder to see. Now it's cloudy. That's how I feel. I don't think she wanted to pretend to be white anymore. And I think that because my mom's desire to not be seen as white must come from how white people behave. I have to hold that like my mom has seen some white people behave in ways that were very wild. And so she clearly decided to stay away from them. My mom did not have no white friends growing up. We were not around white people growing up unless we were going out of our way because they were at our school. My mom was not around white people like that. And so with that being said, it's the way that I think my mom wanted, like I think part of my mom's desire to not be seen as white because she was ashamed of white people, ashamed of white supremacy, ashamed of being confused for them. And again, it's the ways that I feel like maybe that was Mary. She's like, I'm tired of this. Especially the 1930s. Sweetie, talking about the Klan died out. Yeah, right. It's the way that like up until Trump, people want to act like things were going cool. No. And again, it's the way that I'm sure when they went to Chicago, they said, "Oh nah, yeah, we post slavery, but this shit is fucking still crazy. So let's go where the fuck they know to back up. Let's go where we know we can use them guns and bury them bodies. Cause you can't shoot people up in Chicago like that. I mean, you can, but I'm sure it's more places to hide the bodies." I mean, I don't know how old you had to be to drink in 1930, no tea. Because the age went up literally the next year. This was set. Oh, okay. Y'all believe she wanted to leave her white husband. She wanted fake closure. She was going to get that man killed and go back home. Ooh. Like, what did she think would come out of her and stack? It was never going to be safe. So, what was her end goal? She wanted a little fling with her old thing. I mean, here's my thing, though. Maybe it speaks to how white women will put you in danger just for some dick. Because again, there's so many stories of like white women fucking black men, and then next thing you know, And I think about that a lot. I think about how like there are so many times where a black man is with a white woman and then something crazy happens. And people always blame that black man's lust. They don't blame white supremacy. Again, I ain't trying to do too much, but it's the way that like, a black man's lust is gonna always seemingly be the culprit. But it's not that. He can lust after white women all day. But if they decide to harm him, that's on them. But it's the way that at this point, with black men being degrading and uplifting white women in a particular way, there's almost this vibe of like, fuck around and find out, good luck. Mm. Again, I don't know the girl. I don't know Mary, but she just seemed like she was very reckless because she could be. She had power down there in a way she didn't have in the north. If she had done that in the north, she would have got. Shit, if she would have did what she did during the daytime, it's the way. That's why I feel like in the daytime he was in the daytime the way he was telling her to get back was very subdued. Like he didn't want to make a crowd, he didn't want to make a scene, but he's like, back up off me. But when he was in his juke joint, he's like, bitch, get out of here. He's like, I could say, like, again, it's the way that, like, when you talk to white people in public versus in private, like, you could really get a little bit louder, but it's the decibels for me, bitch. It's the way he was real quiet about that. Get back. Cause he's like, bitch, I don't want nobody to see me fighting with no white lady in the street. Cause that's the last thing I need, bitch. I'm over here trying to, I'm trying to start a club. I'm trying to like give a vibe. If I'm back in town, I got money. I'm doing good. I'm not trying to get like, again, it's the way like back in the back and shit. Even now on Facebook, bitch, you know what I'm talking about? Like people see some shit and they start talking. So it's the way that he's like, bitch, I ain't trying to be a part of the grapevine. I don't want nobody to say they see me with a white bitch at all. And that's the thing. Nene wanted, not Nene, excuse me, Mary wanted to end up with this man. It's the way they both vampires. Y'all don't gotta travel together. But they were. It's also the shades at the end for me, bitch. It's also the shades at the end for me. Like the way that they were hidden in plain sight, the way that they were the vampires. And again, it's the way that like an interracial couple as vampires, bitch, that's a meme. Like if I send you a picture of Stack and Mary, bitch. Let me stop. I'm just saying though, it's just the energy vampirism implied by it all. And it's just funny to me. Cause it's like again, in the end, they just look like the most annoying couple. Like in the end, and it's just like, sweetie, bring back the spirit realm. Like, let me see what Annie and the baby are up to, because I'm tired already. Like, not they walking around wearing Coogee and cute sweaters and fucking living life. Like, not all of that happened in 1930 and y'all alive right now just vibing. Get the fuck off my screen. That shit was crazy as hell. Like they were just looking like they were having a two like bitch. It was giving TikTok influencer. Like it's the way that her hair had the little flip in it. It's just like, girl, you look so annoying. Imagine the movie had Remy just asked if they wanted to be vampires. I just feel like they would have just took it. No, they wouldn't have. I feel like she would have took it. He wouldn't have taken it. And I feel like that's the thing. Once she bit his ass, she took away his consent or his choice. She knew what she was. She could have just got some dick and went home. Like that's how I really feel. Mary could have got some dick and went home. She was like, no, I want that dick. She's like, I want that human dick. And then I'm gonna bite him and get that vampire dick. Like honestly, like it's really giving like it's giving calculated. Like if you really think about it, because she could have ate his ass up before she fucked him. She chose to fuck him on some vampire shit, on some freaky vampire. She was like, "Let me get some dick first, and then I'm gonna eat your ass up." Like I'm like, girl, that is crazy. But again, is it like I feel like again the fetishization of black men and black penis? It's like there are a lot of white women that will fuck a black man and then eat his ass up. I mean, that's Stack low key. I'm screaming. I feel like that's very implied that Mary stole him. And it's the way that white women were essaying black men all throughout enslavement. And I'm sure there were times where there were lady clans with women and shit. Like it's the way white women don't want all the tea to come out, I'm sure. And it's the way white men don't want all the tea to come out either. And it's the way I'm sure Ryan Coogler has had access to find all types of shit out about white supremacy. And again, it's the way that this movie felt like it really should have been a series. And that is the hill I would die upon. That is the hill I will die on. I will literally lay down and pass the fuck out for a long periodically time. I'll eat no snacks. This movie just feels like there's so much to talk about. And it's like, sweetie, there should be episodes. Like, I should be able to talk about the different episodes because it's the way that Perlene should have had her own episode about how in the streets she looked like a, regular demure lady. But when she gets some drink in her and she go down to the motherfucking juke joint, ooh. When she go down to the juke joint, and Miss Perlene let her hair down, oh, she's different. And then also, like Cornbread, like they clearly were like, you're a big dude. You could stop some shit from happening at the door. And the way that, like, ain't nobody talk about no bathroom break. Like, ain't nobody talk about, like, if you gotta leave the door. Like, God, like, again, they had so much time to let white people do all types of weird shit on screen. We didn't get no comprehensive fucking protocol for security. Which again doesn't make fucking sense because it's like if you're running a juke joint in that racist part of fucking town where you bought the shit from a Klansman, it's just giving like again the inconsistencies of like characters knowing danger. It's the way that Andy knew there was danger, but she forgot so she could go fry fish. I'm sorry. It's the way that I remember when some men were like trying to kill me in New Orleans. Like there was a black woman I was friends with, and she came over to the house, and I wanted everybody at the house because I was like, maybe if there's a lot of people here, they won't shoot up the house. In retrospect, that was foolish, but you live and you learn. I'm grateful that I lived and I got to learn. But anyways, it's the way that as soon as Pearl seen the guns, she said, "Look, they came through with guns. They flashed them. They asked for your name. They said your name." She's like, "I'm going home." I'm like, "I feel you," and I ain't think nothing of it because it's like, bitch, save yourself. The fuck, like they only want me, bitch. Go home. But again, it's the way that like Annie was like, "Oh nah, this money is tainted," but somehow she's in there frying fish. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like if the black character says no, this is crazy, or no, this is wild, that's usually a plot device to let us know as the audience that this is not going to work out. And again, it's giving Get Out, like on some like the end character, the character that knew something was wrong, something was off. And it's like, you can't use that character sloppily. Like if you're going to use a character, especially a black character, as the CI knew, then you can't have her going out like that. Like again, it's the way that they really wanted to use Annie for everything. They really wanted her to wear multiple hats. And I pray the check was cute. I pray she got a couple million. Cause it's like, girl, they actually needed two more characters. Like they literally like misused your character a lot. And they were sloppy. And then again, they put a lot of the story on your back. They put so much of the story on your back. And it's the way when the movie starts, there's random narration, right? And it's the way that, again, it's the way that, like, we don't get that for Annie. Like, don't nobody randomly narrate while she just exists on screen. It's the way they make her work for every fucking dollar, every penny. Mm. And see, even that, saying that that was the best night, that was the best life. Even Annie knowing to get stabbed in the heart, it's really giving that she was so much more than what they made her be. You get what I'm trying to say here? Like, think about all we learned from Annie in the movie. Why was she treated this way? Again, it's giving like there are so many black men writing things, and they're not considering that this character is more than what you're offering her. Because Annie's character should have been the star of the movie, considering she was guiding us through it. And the twins should have been side characters, bitch. Like, oh, the man I loved and his brother came back to town. That would have been a cute little fucking focal point for the movie, where we see how she really feel about all this shit. Because then maybe she would have told us why she gave him some coochie. Maybe she would have said, even though I ain't heard from his ass, I still love his ass. Something like that. Well, even though, I still got it for him, her maybe seeing him at the grave scene maybe be a little longer. Like maybe him talking to the baby a bit and her coming up to him and them having a moment talking about the baby and what dreams they had for the child. Like there could have been, I'm telling you, YouTube be hating on me. YouTube be hating on me. They just cut my mic, bitch, but we're back. We're back. You said because Annie had to know about the sawmill, right? They used it as a killing floor, didn't they? The only thing good about the vampires is that they let them know ahead of time the clan was coming to kill them. And see, that's the thing too. It's like the clan's coming, or you could become vampires. Like, isn't that wild to think? And it made me think of like liberalism, right? Like the ways that like if we just pretend like we could work together in the future, we can escape white supremacy right now. And it's like, no, we can't. Like, there's no escape from it. Like, you're a white supremacist too, bitch. That's the thing. Like, Remick is a white supremacist too, bitch. Like, honestly, he is a Nazi of a different form. And like, again, it's the ways that like white supremacy protects us from using certain words. Like, it's the way that like all the white people that were doing these things to black folk were Nazis. That's how Nazis became. You cannot tell me that because you can't show me that Hitler was inspired by the plantations and the eugenics of white supremacy in America, and then not allow me to also see they are Nazis. The Klansman outfit, that is a Nazi uniform, bitch. Like again, it's the way that we really couch white suffering in such purity. Like it's the way people talk about Jewish folk and Auschwitz and the Holocaust in this way that they never talk about enslavement and chattel slavery. Like it's the way people really have a way of talking about chattel slavery. Excuse me, like it's whatever, but it's the way people talk about the Holocaust and the way we even say the Holocaust as if there's not been many, as if white people weren't having Holocausts all over the motherfucking United States, as if there's not still towns and cities that are now rivers and motherfucking lakes, actually, because you can't just make a river, but now are lakes, bitch. So that's the part for me that's just kind of like, but again, it's the way white people have the nerve to be like, well, why are black people mad today? Bitch, because the shit never stopped. It just changed up. Like y'all just started like, performing like we could all be cool, but the black person gotta stay in the back. Like, baby, the way the news is really showing me every other day a black child being harmed or abused, it's getting to the point where it's so clear to me that the Republicans and the white supremacists have infiltrated the news media. And I'm not even trying to play. Like, I've known that that's what they're doing, but it's like right now, bitch. I don't know about you, but it's the way that the daycare workers, the babysitters, like I'm seeing the most wildest, heinous, this just again, it's the way that I used to feel like we got a couple weeks between every motherfucking large scale like Black Death extermination operation. Like it's at this point that I'm realizing that like no, like it's every fucking hour. And again, it's the way that like what are black folks supposed to feel like watching this shit or like even going on their phone? It's like, bitch, I intentionally go into black news sources to read what's happening because that's who I care about. I don't care about reading from white people telling me about white people stuff. I don't care. Every now and then I'll see what the white people are doing, and I aged 15 years. So again, it's the ways that I prefer to see what black folk are talking about versus white folk. And again, it's the way that like just the harm happening. And again, it's the ways that like the whole like the point of community is to provide fellowship, joy, and support. But as the fucking standard, it's supposed to allow for there to be a safe environment to raise children. And it's the way that that's never been the case for anybody black in America. And it's the way that it's the way that there's this way of talking about, oh, well, it's different now. It's the way white people are always telling me every day that they're not paying attention, that they don't really care that black folk are being abused or harmed, that they're not really invested. And it shows because again, they don't know what the fuck is going on. Let's do a wellness break. Let's do a water break. Let's do a bathroom break. We'll get some more tea. But yeah, I feel like I could talk about this movie for 1,000 years because I feel like there's so many layers to it. It's really a lot. We're back. We're back. But also saying that the sawmill was a killing floor, I wonder, like, is that why they asked the white man that sold them the sawmill what was like what they used the place for? And then the white man was just like, bruh, excuse me, I thought y'all was ready to hurry up and fucking buy, and just was deflecting as fuck. Cause that was another moment for me. But again, it just reminded me that like when you're fucking black, like folks will really will really be like, yeah, here's this dirty ass place. Hey, this is great for you. Come move in. It's dirty as fuck. Who cares? And it's like, what the fuck? Like again, it's the ways that like yuck, the ways that I've seen white people just be like, yeah, this is a great place to rent. It's so dirty. And it's like, fuck, like, I feel like whenever I've looked at places with white people, like, whenever I've had, like, white partners, like, I've never seen them show me a dirty place in my life. But it's the way that when I dated, like, a black woman, like, they were showing us, like, the nastiest places. And it was so crazy because it was like, we knew people in certain buildings and we knew how nice it was. And it's like, damn, you got some special nasty spot. And again, it's the way I think about where my mom lived before I moved out. And it's like she lived in like this basement apartment that was really nasty and like really stuffy. And like she could afford it though, because it was the cheapest one. It had the least amount of fucking windows. Um, the only thing good about the vampires is they let them know ahead of time, and I hope they get the bonus the way the movie is cutting up. Oh, nah, Ryan's definitely getting his bonus. Ryan's definitely getting it. Last time I checked, box office was 161 million, and they just needed to make 91 to break even. So he's definitely made a huge profit, which is nice for him. I want to say he got like 20% of like ticket sales. And bitch, let's be real. Like the bootleg, people care about the bootleg, but I feel like most people are going to see it for the experience. And again, I know some people won't appreciate a bootleg being posted. I know, but there are going to be people who really would want to avoid the theater right now. And again, for COVID, for white people being weird, like again, I have heard about white people getting beat up so far at the theater over this movie. And when I say over this movie, I just mean like this movie inspired them to do a call and response as it's doing for black folks. Like there's a lot of black folks in the theater talking and laughing, and like there's a lot of people making noise in the theater. And that could be overstimulating for some people. Like I know some of y'all can't really handle being around white people who are, acting a fucking fool. And I hear you. Again, there were white people that did scare me at the theater when I went, and I'm not a black person, so I want to put that out there right now. And if I get scared of white people, I like to just be candid about that and do what I can to be supporting because, again, it's the way that I have lived around white people. I've been around them a lot, but recently it's just been like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I just have to remember, like, it's very rare at this point now that I can deal with them. And, like, I'm trying my best to have a good summer. And I'm just like, man, where am I about to go? Like, I'm trying to prioritize like doing like house parties and shit like that. Like, I think that's what I'm gonna try to do is have people come over the house and get fucked up and like do bonfires and shit. But my God, like, I can't even. Like, I don't know what the summer about to bring. I'm terrified. Um, DVD sales would be so crazy because people want physical. Oh no, the DVD sales are about to be insane. I wonder how he's gonna get that. In terms of the profit. Like, I really wonder how that's gonna all arrange itself because I feel like that's the thing about white supremacy is like a movie only stays in theaters for so long. So it's like if you're getting money off the ticket sales, that's great. But like, have y'all already discussed DVD? Have y'all discussed streaming? Like, I really wonder that, and I feel like Netflix is gonna get it. I feel like Netflix is gonna give a lot of money to get it. Excuse me, because I feel like they're the ones that have Get Out, and so I just have a feeling they're gonna be like, oh, our black stories are gonna be lit. I'm sorry. I just assume that that's how the CEOs at fucking Netflix talk whenever they find like just some new thing that black people love. They're like, hey. And they'll really write that shit too in like the fucking app. They'll be like, black stories are so lit on Netflix. Come see us. Come check them out. Yeah. He said he thinks about that night every day because he was with his brother back home. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. And maybe that's a moment too that like when you're a black person dating a white person, that like you'll have like moments where you want to be real about stuff that will maybe hurt their feelings. And again, I don't think Mary will be happy to hear that shit at the fuck all. She want to hear that he happy to be with her forever. And again, it's the way that like it made me just look at interracial relationships in some way because it's like I don't feel like I've ever dated somebody white who wanted me to behave a certain way for them. But I do think about how like I've absolutely seen like I've been around people who date white people and I don't know, man. Like I feel like everybody got their own thing, right? But I've definitely seen some folks, just be really excited to have a white partner. Me personally, I have low self-esteem. Like, I'm still working on that. But I was just dating who wanted to date me. I want to be very clear that as much as, like, yes, I did date white people, I feel like that's who was approaching me with terms that I could agree to. I feel like, as I've said before, like, I've had black men reach out to me and just be like fetishizing, texturist, colorist. And I'm standing there like, this don't feel like you like me, babe. And like again, it's the ways that like most recently I've been telling black men, like whenever they're being texturist or colorist, just to see like are they willing to stand with me in the moment and like hold space for the fact that this is like a very like this is a harmful thing. And it's the most peculiar thing. It's like as soon as I acknowledge to him that I'm aware of misogynoir, I'm aware of colorism, it's like he's like, "Oh, you're like XYZ." And it's like the way that he's trying to like harm black women and include me as like a sign that like there are like that black women are getting powerful and like corrupting. Like I've had like black men tell me that like I shouldn't be listening to black women, and it's awkward because it's like you need to, and like I'm telling them this and they're just like no. They're like, you're a nice little light skinned mixed girl, like just stay that. And I'm like, what? And so again, it's the ways that like there are black men encouraging me to be a op. And so it's never been, oh, I'm not attracted to black men. That is not true. I've been attracted to many black men. However, I feel like I went into like my YouTube creator or my content or whatever, and bitch, oh my God, embarrassing. So recently on Threads, I shared somebody's content, right? And then when I looked at whose content I shared, like I shared it before I saw who wrote it. And that's not usually what I do. But I looked at the picture and I looked at the name and I was like, holy shit, bitch. I'm not trying to do too much. I feel like I'm not on my like exposer type shit, but I just feel like I've already exposed him, bitch. I already made a video. But basically, like there was a man who I had spoken to online, and at first it was a cool convo. Like he was like a funny creator, and like he never posted that he had a wife. He never posted about girlfriend. And I was looking, I didn't ask outright, but I was looking. And I want to say like things got a little spicy, got a little cute or whatever, but I found out there was a wife. Like, I don't know how exactly, but I did find out. And so when I brought it to him, he was trying to act like I'm crazy. And it was really wild because, like, the way we were talking was very inappropriate if he has a wife, right? And so I was just like, baby, I was like, I gotta tell her because it's crazy. And again, maybe some of y'all may or may not think that. I personally feel like I'm not necessarily a girl, but I am a girl's girl, bitch. And if your man is cheating and he's a public influencer, sweetie, I'm gonna tell you, I don't give a fuck how people feel. I'm asking people's opinion because I just wonder, like, are y'all on that type of time too? If not, no judgment. But I just feel like if a man is trying to cheat with me and I find out, baby, mm-mm-mm. I'm not going to tell her in a crazy way. I'm not trying to like use this to like talk to a wife crazy. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm definitely letting her know he's out here acting up so she can get her lick back. You feel me? Because bitch, for all I know, alimony, settlement. You feel me? Like for all I, and again, bitch, she had a baby. Bitch, she was hiding a baby and a wife on Instagram. And motherfuckers are sick. Anyways, bitch, why I found out I retweeted his thread, bitch. I ended up going crazy. I deleted that shit, blocked his ass. I was like, oh my God. Like how? Like Instagram is so weird. But maybe I didn't block him on that account. I don't know. But because I'm messy, his name is Defnot Defnot, bitch. Again, I thought he was cute. I did. But again, it's the way that I'm talking to a cute black man, and then what? And then what? He got a baby. Oh, and he got a wife. Oh, he's probably talking to a bunch of bitches being a weirdo and a liar. Oh no. So it's just it be moments like that that got me fucked up. What up, Rayard? Again, I feel like my desire for dating anybody white was my desire for dating them from what they showed me who they were. But again, did I know them for real? Fuck no. Again, low self esteem, lack of love will really have you like, you know what? We'll figure it out along the way. And even in the relationship I'm in now, like we definitely move very quickly and we had to slow down to get to know each other more. And that's been a journey in its damn self. So I wouldn't advocate for nobody to just jump into any relationship, white or not. But it's the way that, like, I'm gonna be so fucking for real. It's very easy, or it used to be very easy to date white people because, again, it's the way the white man wasn't coming to me talking about he got a wife and a baby. Like, there was no competition with him. Like, it was very much like, I want you, I'm focused on you, that's that on that. And again, I'm not saying that to be juxtaposing black men and white men, but I feel like the approach is completely different from what I've experienced. Black men approach me like I should just know that they're to be worshipped. And lowest of keys, I feel like I was talking to a black woman recently who was like, I appreciate you for saying this because I thought that black men were only doing this to me or black women. And I'm like, no, I'm like, there are black men who really like come to me as if like I'm the help or like, of course you'll like me. Of course you'll want to be with me. And it's awkward because it's like they're attractive, sure, but we don't know each other. Like, what's up? Like, and again, I have to hold that like my love language is getting my dick sucked. Like, and a lot of white men have no problem like fawning, being super adoring. And I feel like, again, it's the ways that like there are some men who are very, very open to showing love to a woman in a particular way. And it's not about race. However, I do believe there are some black men who believe that they can't show that level of support, care, concern because they don't know me like that. But I'm supposed to show that level of care and concern for them, just based on the fact that they're, hitting me up the way that they are. And again, it's the ways that there are sometimes where there are some moments where I feel like there are black men that feel like, of course, you'll want to be with me. Like the way that they reach out to me is like, of course, like you're going to want me. And there's definitely moments where there's fine as fuck. Of course they're hot. And so I'm talking to them and we're having a chatty time, but at some point there will be a moment where it's either, I have kids and I wasn't saying so on my website or on my app, or, oh, I just got out of something and I'm just trying to fuck, or some of them have said like straight up, like, I just want some pussy, I just want some neck. And it's like, okay, I'm not saying white men don't talk like this because like white men do talk crazy, but I'm trying to offer that like going through the steps of hello, how are you? Can I take you on a date? Like, I feel like as of right now, to be super clear, all men are sucking at that. Like, it's not even a black or white thing. In the back, I definitely felt like there was a vibe of like come through energy. And I feel like that's still happening in ways, but I feel like again, it's the way that there are white men doing it just the fucking same. And so I feel like it's a men issue more than color, but I do feel like back when I was dating more in my 20s, there were a lot of black men that would hit me up on some colorist type time. And when I would try to figure out why are you being colorist, the energy would be like, what? Like, it's my preference or all this and that. And it's like, well, I don't prefer colorists. And now I'm a bitch. Now I'm a bitch and a hoe. And it's the way that it's like, okay, so if I'm not colorist with you, we can't have anything. Like, you need someone colorist. Okay. Again, it's the way that there was no, I couldn't push back on them. I couldn't say, like, again, it's the way I've tried. And also it's the ways that like I don't know. Like, I feel like there's so many moments that I've had with black men sexually, physically, that kind of just reaffirmed to me that like masculinity is such a scam. Because like there are definitely moments I've had with black men where, I was being like I was maybe not aggressing them, but I was taking lead. And like there were just moments where I could tell they were extremely uncomfortable. And it was just like, hmm. And so again, it's the ways that like I feel like black men hold a standard for behavior for other women that are non-black. That again is rooted in like worship and desire and care. And then there's moments where like I'll see relationship dynamics where like this white woman is like in control of the relationship seemingly or in control of the dynamic, and therefore like he's like following her lead. Like I've seen white women be aggressive or direct, and I feel like I'm tying it back to Mary, where like white women have like a lot of like options when it comes to like black men. Like they can be the woman that says no, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do, and like that's not a problem. Like it is, but it's like it can't be publicly because what power do you have against her? And so again, it's the way that I've definitely, talked to black men, and like I've had them like on some Annie shit, like ask me like, can I fry fish? Like, and I feel like that's the thing. That's the other part of this. It's like it's the way that like people will really try to see what they can get out of you. And that's very much what sex work is. Like sex work is literally just trying to see what you can get from people. And it's the ways that like the twins were very much constantly in negotiation mode, and we're constantly trying to negotiate for their betterment, for their benefit. Sure, they did some negotiation. Sure, they did some chatting. Sure, they helped some people along the way. But at the end of the day, like they were looking out for their fucking selves and their best interests. So at the end of the fucking day, like it's the way that Mary was able to look out for her best interest. And again, was she really? No. But again, when somebody is white and they don't want to be white, it's an interesting situation that you see unfolding. And I only know about that because my own mom's experience and the way that she was actively going out her way to say she was not white, even though she was very much white. And the ways that, like, even if we can see that someone has maybe some ancestry of color, that doesn't change that like they're a person who's privileged. And so again, it's the ways that like that person actually has to do that work. And like what does it look like for a Mary to sit with like the danger she's putting people in? When would she do that? She literally seen like a man that she like seemingly wanted, and that was that. And again, it's the ways that like when you're white, when you're mixed, when you're non-black, like people will make justification for your recklessness and your selfishness. And so I'm seeing a lot of people being like, well, Mary, well, Mary, well, Mary, well, Mary was actually being a, like, again, it's the way people want to say Pearline was a creep, but they don't want to say Mary was. Bitch, clock. Because ain't nobody told Pearline to get away. Nobody said, Pearline, you're doing too much. Like, people were actively trying to get Mary back. And again, it's the way that Mary was causing mad scenes, commotions. And again, it's the way that when a white woman starts something, it's on everybody else to fix it. Everybody else got to figure it out. She don't got to figure nothing out. She over here causing recklessness, ruckus, confusion. She over here like they literally told the white people to leave, and she had a fucking empathetic moment. Like let's be real. Like I have to hold that for myself. I've definitely had moments where I was like, damn, where I felt bad for the white person, where I felt bad that they weren't invited, that they couldn't do what they wanted to do. I've definitely had that experience before where me as a mixed person felt like, damn, that was too harsh. Oh no. No, not all of them. Like I've definitely had that experience. And so that's the thing. It's the way that Mary was a fucking liability and the way people won't say it. Well, excuse me, the way non-black people and white people won't say it, because again, it's the ways that like we're not being betrayed by Mary. Mary not worried about it. Mary not thinking about us. We're not, Mary don't care about us. Mary wanted to make sure that her signifier or the person that she could live in elevated blackness was, and again, it's the ways that like this white woman, this white actress, and them bringing up her 1/8 of whatever the fuck. Oh my god, it's the way that right before our very eyes, like we're seeing like a reenactment of the fucking one drop rule, despite the fact that for the past few years, like almost a decade, like black women specifically have been creating so much content about why it's harmful. It's just fascinating. Like this year specifically feels like shit on black women year, and I'm holding that. Like this year really feels like let's fuck up their money, let's fuck up their education, let's fuck up their lives. Like it's very much giving that. Like, and again, it's been that, but it feels like Massage and War is literally the only fucking thing that they're speaking in. And I know some people may not see it that way, but again, the way transphobia and misogyny and war actually are working hand in hand, like there's so many layers to what's happening here. And again, it's the ways that even the black women who think trans folk are harming them, even the ways people think that black women are trans automatically because they don't have lilted voices like white women. Like again, it's the ways that all of this shit is being used to harm black women and then also make them unsympathetic characters. It's really sick. But again, it's the ways that we can look and see, you know, part of where it's coming from. And this movie is set in 1930s. What's that? 100 years ago? The movie is set 100 years in the past. That's such a marker of time. And to show that, like, even back then, like, even and again, he had the creative license. He could have made it more sweet and tender. He could have. But denying Annie, I truly believe was a choice. And even if it wasn't as conscious or explicit as others, I think it speaks to how misogyny, war, and fat phobia collaborate in a lot of works of art. Like again, the movie Precious, like that movie is fucked up as hell. And again, it's the way that they wanted to give Monique a Oscar, and I'll never forget that. It's the way they wanted to give Monique all of this, for this role, playing this woman who was a monster. And it's the way that like that could win an Oscar, that could win an award. And again, there were so many people who saw their own mama, their own auntie, their own somebody in their family. And again, it's the ways that like that was wild to see unfold. But again, it's the way that when we see a black fat character, especially deep dark skin, we're not supposed to love that character. A lot of times we're really supposed to look at that character with pity. And it's the way that like Annie's character got that same fucking treatment. And people may not want to talk about that. Cause again, it's the way that I want to hold that like when I first started talking about colorism and my participation in it, me being a colorist, me being a lighter skinned person, me having privilege within pigmentocracy, like there were people who were like, shut the fuck up, like you don't have any privilege, you're constantly homeless, you're poor. And again, it's the ways that like, yes, that is true, but you can still have privilege within that prism of reality. Like within the construct of colorism, I do still have privilege despite the fact that I am poor as fuck. Like colorism has absolutely allowed me to not be staying poor. And so with that being said, like or not be getting dead off of not having, any access. Again, it's the ways that like if you think about it real hard as a person with privilege, it may feel kind of like you're doing too much, but I assure you, like when you really think about it and you think about certain situations, certain people that just said yes, and you didn't have to work for it. Again, I'm sitting with that more and more, but I know it makes some folks uncomfortable to hear the privileged folks say what is true. It's just the case, and I don't want anyone to think I'm trying to do this to be baiting people into getting angry. So I'm trying to frame it around my own behavior, so people aren't just hearing me condemn the behavior. I'm trying to acknowledge like I did the shits. The way black women are only rewarded for these low vibrational roles in movies. Again, bitch. Again, Whoopi Goldberg in The Color Purple. Like, my God. Like, I really want to watch one of those days together because, again, I heard that that movie was the Black Female Friday, which made me laugh because I'm like, that sounds fun. I'm grateful Kiki and SZA got a chance to, make this movie and have fun perhaps together. But at the same time, I'm trying to hold space for the fact that like some of these movies that come out, they're supposed to inspire a lot of emotion. I would not be surprised if this movie does win some major awards, but hmm, I don't know. All I know is I know people are going to be loving this movie. I'm sure there's a lot of deleted behind the scenes in it as well. Like I'm sure at this point, there's probably a lot if they do cut. Well, I know they're going to cut a DVD, but like when they do, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like 2 discs. I would not be surprised at all. You said movie day. Well, listen, we got to figure out what movie day is going to be because we don't know yet. We're going to talk at dinner this Sunday and figure it out together. But I'm not sure when we're going to watch a movie together. I want to watch Sinners with y'all for real because, like, again, I watched it again last night, but then my computer died and I just like kept going. But it's the way that I want to keep on going with that second watch because watching it again, it's just like, damn, I don't know, like just the rattlesnake in the truck and the way that they were like again, anticipating danger the entire way, overpaying the white person, the snake in the truck, the asking the little girl to sit in the truck. Like it's a reminder perhaps that like you could do everything right, count all your steps, get all the support, ask for community support, do all the things that you can to make sure everything's successful. And it all comes down to white foolishness. Perhaps. I don't know. Again though, I think my closing thoughts are that the mammy trope was alive and well, and that last point that I tried to make about how like when people are confronted with harm happening to folks, it's very clear that how do I say this? When harm is happening to people and it's being uplifted, it can make people feel embarrassed. And it's the ways that like I've definitely felt weird about certain content coming out around fat phobia or fatness. Like I've definitely felt like, I was very angry about hearing about certain things happening. And so it's the way that like I've never seen a thin person talk about fat phobia in my fucking life. And again, it's the way that I don't even know what I would do depending on how it was offered. And so again, I want to hold that like when someone like who is a lighter skinned person is like trying to make a personal connection with ways that they've been colorist or that they've been invested in pigmentocracy, I'm gonna hold that there are gonna be people that are uncomfortable, and there are gonna be people that maybe want to say something or shift the conversation. And I want folks to know I welcome that I don't think I know anything, but I'm trying to hear and apply it to myself. And again, it's the way that I know there are gonna be white people who hear me and think that I'm crazy, but there's gonna also be somebody white who's like, yeah, like I am a white supremacist. Now let's work backwards. Like, what can I start doing to work towards allyship, accomplice? You know what I mean? Like, what can be done? And like, that's all I'm trying to do is like show that like you can be candid about how you were fucked up and not run away from the shame and actually hold on to the fact that like in this moment you're willing to be candid about ways that you definitely needed to shift, and you are. And again, I'm not saying that it's linear. I think it's quite static. I think that there's going to be moments where people are like, you could have did better. And I hope that folks feel safe to say. But again, there's moments that I have to hold that like I have to pay attention and I have to ask for help. And maybe there will be somebody who is also privileged who notices that they're not asking for help and they aren't really paying attention. And maybe they'll start. Who knows? I hope so. But my energy is very much like I'm going to do as much as I can do. And I'm going to say as much as I can say. And I'm going to share as much as I can share. And that's all I got. That's my spirit. You're a skinny twig bitch, but I stand up for my plus size girls. I just try to find balance in speaking up for them versus speaking for them. Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like sometimes I'll say something and I'll be like, hold up. Cause like there's a video that somebody black already made about this. And I'm just going to share that with you. And I'll just try to remind them like they say it better than me. Because sometimes people really get caught up in like a light skinned person saying like, quote unquote, the good thing, the right thing. And it's like, nah, like I have to root and cite my sources because again, it's the ways that like words can become bastardized. People become experts and someone to look up to. And it's like, no, like the reality is like, I'm a parrot. You feel me? I have to remember that. Like, I'm a parrot. Like, there are black women saying the shit. I'm just bringing it to you. And in fact, here is the work. Here is the source. Because again, these folks who are sharing with us, they're in danger, bitch. Like honestly, I think about that more than ever now. That like right now, like we are in a time where like if you're saying anything that would overthrow in any way the Trump delusion and propaganda, you're in danger as fuck. And so I'm going harder for like black creators who are saying the thing that is the most dangerous because again, there are so many white people creating content right now based off of what black people have said, and they're still not citing their sources. They're not saying where they got the shit from, and that's a problem. Like again, like I don't know shit about being a black person. I really don't. I'm hearing a lot and I'm holding space for a lot of information, but I'll never know. I know what it's like to be a mixed person, and that's what I'm going to talk about. What I'm going to focus on. But in the midst of all that, there's a lot of discourse that comes out that us mixed people are connected to, and it shouldn't be black folks taking us to task. Like it really should be our community coming. And again, it's the way when white people say crazy shit, it should be white people popping up. But it's the way that like when thin people are fat phobic, like I rarely see other thin people like getting in it. And like I've seen people be like, why are you talking to them like this? Like I feel like we're in a time where like people are really curious about people being abusive verbally online, and it's awkward because it's like, why does it matter why they're being disgusting? Like why are we trying to figure out the why? But again, it's like the ways that privileged people respond to fucking harm is very much like, well, what's going on here? Let me get the full story. What's the full story of this person calling me fucking names? Like, what the fuck? Again, It's the way that like I'm holding that like white supremacy always intended for all of us to experience like degradation and dehumanization, but it was all a concert of bullshit so that folks can feel like, oh, not yet, not yet. Oh, I'll go to heaven. Oh, it'll be safe up there. Like again, it's the way that I see people clinging to their Bibles right now, and it's so stressful because again, this is the time where like gods are made. Like, bitch, this is the time of prophecies being fulfilled. I hate to say that. But on some Handmaid's Tale, like this is the time where like the Bible verses, the people that have been reading the Bible to quote it from memory, this is their time. I hate to say that. But the people that have figured out how to recite the Bible from memory and really like mesmerized with the word and the spirit, this is their time because there are a lot of cults starting right now. A lot of people being like, oh, Israel is in the prophecy. Like again, it's the way that like Israel doing all this harm is seeming like this is the time to go back to the Bible. And it's like, who is telling y'all this? And again, it's the way that like Christian folk operate, like they have a secret fucking manuscript or a secret path, a way to go. And it's like, again, it's the way that like I've figured out that a lot of us are trying to escape, but some of us are doing it with things that the state has offered us, and some of us are doing it with things that the state is trying to kill us for having access to. And so it's wild to think about how there are some people whose addiction is religion, but that addiction keeps them away. It keeps them away from having to really look at everybody as they are. Like if you say shit is of the devil, you could close your eyes. If you say shit is of God, you can really like disassociate from like the community that actually made that possible. Like it's very fascinating when you think about it, but it's a way to actually just misappraise everything and center it around holy or bad. Like it's a huge dichotomy. And again, we see the way dichotomies operate in the society that we live in, girl, boy, fat, skinny, dark, light. Like we see the whole point of it, right? Like in order to create a top down, like people on the top are the least marginalized, and then the marginalized are on the bottom, and the ways that like we're constantly supposed to be seeing like one marginalized person every few years. Wow. And again, it's the way that they treat black folk like endangered fucking species and the way that they're actively doing this. It's the way that people who are not white are the fucking majority. And yet, what do we see all day on TV? It's wild to consider, but like when you think about it, like we do live in captivity and we have to go out of our way to see the world as it truly is because the TV will tell you everything that they are seeing as a problem. And it's the way that there are things that are not actually a problem, but you're supposed to see it that way. You're supposed to see it like that's not good. And again, I know that we're living in the Trump America. I know that we're living in a scary time. But it's also the ways that like living in a scary time means that we're also living in a time where people are learning how to become strategic. So consider that if you don't consider nothing else, that like as scary as it can be out here, as wild as it can seem out here, there are people learning how to like fight within it. And I think about how like, there are so many people that are actively unlearning colonization right now because the bells and the alarms are finally being heard by them. And while I know there are some people that are extremely late to colonization and the unlearning, I'm hoping that we remember that, like, at some point you thought that whiteness wasn't as big of a problem as it fucking is. At some point, maybe you thought we could all get along. Like, somebody thought that. I thought that. I thought some of them were cool. Again, it's the way that I'm holding that, like, even when it comes to us light skinned mixed people, like, it's very much like a safety precaution. Like, and I want to hold that as like a thing that I say as a reality. Like, there are a lot of us mixed people who are fucking dangerous to be around because again, we can switch sides, we can be ops, and we can be ops that people don't see coming. And it's the way that like the twins saw Mary coming. They saw Mary coming and they didn't want her to keep coming. and the way a lot of mixed people don't let you get away from them as like again, it's the way that I literally like read like black like blogs and like publications and like all types of things, and I'm sure there could be black folks that are like, good God, leave us alone, you feel me? And again, that would be motherfucking valid. And so again, it's the way that I've talked about anti-blackness and black political. I'm sure there's someone that's like, ugh, like stop, like your lens is not what I want to hear from, which is valid. And so again, it's the ways that like the predatory nature of whiteness, the predatory nature of mixedness, the ways that like, you know, tribalism in America will really scrutinize like who is really white, and the ways that like at this point whiteness is clearly trying to get their numbers up. Like it's very fascinating to watch like whiteness really like shift in the way that it is, in that like it's no longer how people look. Like there are people who are absolutely white and I don't give a fuck what color you think you see, but that's a white lady. Like I don't give a fuck. And I know some people don't want to hear that, but like it's the way that whiteness has is a practice. There are white people who are practicing whiteness, and there are white people attempting to decolonize, attempting to betray whiteness. Absolutely. But there are more white people who are practicing whiteness. And again, it's the way that whiteness has the tendency to look at someone and decide whether or not they are worth living or killing. Like that's what whiteness is. It is a cannibalistic dehumanization machine. And so when people think they see white people, you are in danger. And again, it's the way that I have no problem saying that at this point. In the past, I absolutely was terrified to say that because again, who wants to believe that? I feel like that's the thing about Age of Pisces, bitch. I believe. And I think about the things that like you didn't want to believe. You feel me? That I feel like that's the thing about the ages moving backwards. It's like going towards Aquarius. You really have to hold that like you really didn't want to believe that. Like who wants to believe that white people are literally actively harming themselves, thinking that they're only harming others? Like that is unfortunate to hold, that like the dehumanization started with them naming anybody a color, them taking on whiteness and becoming white, them thinking that whiteness can be applied to anyone, them thinking that whiteness can be found in behavior. Like that is again a psychological operation that's it's just very obvious that like when we talk about like unwell, mentally adept, like we're coming into a fight. Like we're coming into a fight. And so again, it's the ways that like whiteness really expects people to be on their same type of time, when like if we all were if we all pretended, if we all operated like white people, whew, again, it's the ways that like white people could not take if everybody operated like them. They could not take that. And it's the way I've never heard anybody black want to operate like them. I've never heard anybody black ever say anything along the lines. Anybody black talking about white people were always talking out of protection. Always were talking about keeping themselves safe. Like anybody black bringing up whiteness to me, and again, it's the way that like if you're around white people a lot, people not even gonna bother. So it's the way that I was around white people to a point where like some people were like, you got it. So I have to hold that as well, that like whiteness is one of those experiences, or is a system rather, of denying what people are seeing and feeling, and also denying that there is anti-blackness in many things. But again, the distortion of language, the ways that we will be around white people and be signaling to people, especially black folk, like they may not be a safe person to connect with. And again, it's the way that you can be around white people and feel safe. And like the more that we unlearn that reality, or like that like operation, because again, it's the way that like going outside in my white neighborhood, I don't like for them to look at me, I don't like for them to bother me. Like I literally try to stay out the way, because again, it's the way that every time I go on fucking threads or anywhere, I'm seeing black women say, and not just deep dark skinned black women, like black women of all tones, saying things like, oh yeah, white people are aggressing me, coming up to me, bothering me, and I'm just waiting for my turn, bitch. Like I'm just waiting. And again, it's the way I watched a video of myself from like the time that these white people had put me out on some crazy shit, like took my rent money and kicked me out like 3 days later. And I was like, I was like, all I could say was at least the colonizer let me keep my life. You feel me? Because again, it's the ways that like that's how I gotta play it sometimes. Like whenever you deal with white people, that could be the fucking thing. But I also have to hold that as a lighter skinned mixed person, and it never came down to that. But it has been displacement. It has been theft of funds. Like there's been some things they've done that were absolutely like survival altering, but putting me in a certain kind of position, putting me in a certain kind of situation, no. And they could have, and even that, even the harm of knowing that like they could have done more, knowing that they could want to do more, but I have to live with the reality that like who knows what that white person means, you bitch, who knows what they mean to you. Like as I told y'all before, a white person hit me up talking about they gonna give me a phone and then ended up stealing my fucking Cash App account, and I'm like, girl, like at this point, every time someone does something wild to me, I just have to hold like that's just how they're moving. Like white supremacy is really moving. Like you know what? I'm gonna get you. And again, it's the ways that white people don't want to hear this. But instead of you not wanting to hear this, maybe listen to what we're saying and intervene. Maybe ask white people around you how they are supporting black people in their lives. Like start to get preemptive and see what kind of ops you got around you. Cause it's the way that like white people will really think that somebody hate them when really we hate the behavior. But I think at this point, I think it's valid for people to say they hate white people. Very valid. Like I used to be on the fence. Dead ass. Like I used to think like, oh, I hate whiteness. I don't hate white people. But I feel like at this point, I think that hating white people is necessary because we have to really like hold that like they're choosing to behave this way. Like whiteness only is significant in what they're doing because they're knowing that they can get away with it. They're being protected in the harm because of how they look. Nothing more. We see every day black people do the same shit and who gets picked up, who go to jail. And so it's giving obviously like people are actively harming black people and actively allowing white people to get away with things. Like that's obvious, right? So, and when I say people, I just mean like law enforcement, the powers that be. And again, it's the way that that's been the case for a while. It's the way that Mary knew, like, bitch, shut up. Let me fuck you. Let me eat your neck and you're mine forever. It's the way she had a plan and a plot. And none of the rest of the story didn't fucking matter. Like, again, the story about two twins trying to go back home and start something, right? Trying to do something new with their life. Why is Mary in it? Again, it's the way that Annie, in my humblest opinion, Annie had so much to ask for. It's the way Annie had so much to fucking ask for. She had so much that she could have made demands about. Meanwhile, the white character got her way. And people keep talking about, oh, Haley is so beautiful. She's so beautiful. Like, I'm not going to say Haley not cute, but Annie is right there. For me, it's the psychological operation of whiteness and how, like, this movie is full of beautiful black people, brown people, and we're supposed to be looking at Annie like, baby. Again, it's the way that whiteness can't help but colonize and eat up the moment. There is nothing about Annie that's special. Swear. For 1 minute, I thought it was Kendall Jenner, bitch. So that's why I'm sitting here like, wow, like she looked like every other white bitch with a lob. It's like she got a lob. What else? What am I missing? What am I missing? Like, no shade. Like, it's the way, again, I just feel like the more that people tell me about how beautiful someone white is, the more I can tell that they're not beautiful. Like, again, it's the way that I used to think, like, I used to watch Gossip Girl, and it's the way I used to think Serena was very cute. And then it's the way that I just started to realize, like, she's not cute at all. She is just white. And again, it's the ways that it took me a minute because they're telling me she's so pretty. Serena, Serena, Serena. But it's like when you really like look at her, it's like she's very basic. But again, it's the way that like we're being conditioned to see a white person as beautiful or a white person as cute, a white person as worthy. You remember when you came out, the white man Dan from Gossip Girl, bitch, I forgot his name. No shade, but the white dude from You, like the way people were like, he is so sexy, he is so hot, he gets so sexy, and it's like, okay, like don't get me wrong, I don't think he's a bad looking dude, but I think about the ways that like we're just like shown these people and like we're supposed to just get it. Excuse me, like Timothy Chalamet. I look at him and I'm like, he is just a sharp faced white man. No shade to the sharp faces out there. No shade to the white faces. People think he cute. People think Joe Goldberg is cute. People think Mr. Goldberg is cute. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've heard it. And I'm just like, whoa. And part of me thinks it's because he's been outspoken about anti-blackness, and also I want to be candid. He's another one of those mixed people. Like he got apparently he got a black Jamaican great grandmother, allegedly. Allegedly. I heard it through the grapevine. I could be wrong, but you hear what I'm trying to say? Like it's the way that like I even know that he has like a mixed ancestor that's Jamaican that he talks about. Like again, it's the way that like mixedness is okay when you're white looking. When you look white, that's just fine. It's just fine, like to be a whole mixed person when you look white. Like again, it's the way that like people want to talk about want to talk about Mary in a particular way, but Mary was never in danger. Like I feel like that's the other part of this is Mary was not only not in danger, but she also was the danger. Like the fact that, and I mean that in multiple ways. It's the way that she threatened to beat up black women for no reason. For no reason. It's the way that she assumed she wouldn't be in danger because of black women. And that's the thing that's even more ridiculous because it's like not one black woman gave one fuck about her being there. Like I didn't see not one scene where anybody black other than fucking Sammy was looking at her like, what the fuck are you doing here? And again, even the way that Sammy was like, why is she here? And just being confused. Like it's really giving like, this isn't typical. It's giving like they've been gone for 7 years, but that white lady don't be around them like that. And again, she was coming down there to bury her mom. And it's clear that she was coming down there to bury her mom secretly and be Caucasian. And also it's the way that somebody said that this movie reminded them of Imitation of Life. And it's awkward as fuck because like I feel like Imitation of Life, I watched it recently and it really made me mad as fuck. I don't know how many people have ever seen it, but Imitation of Life is basically a movie about a white passing woman who has a black mother that she's ashamed of, and she's only ashamed of her because obviously we live in a white supremacist world, and so all the white people around her and all the white people that she's around all the white people that she's surrounded by are usually unaware that she has a black mother. And then when her black mother shows up, then you see, other people being like weird to her. So it's very much a situation where it shows a character who is assumed to be white and therefore worthy of not harming. But once people find out that she has a black mother, that's when can befall her. And so excuse me, it's the way that the plot sets it up to be like, no, her mom's around, oh no, now she's gonna go through trauma. And it's the way that I really wish the story would have said, like, oh no, white people are racist. Like, oh no, the colonizer is colonizing. But instead, the story sloppily chooses to like make it seem as if every time this black woman shows up, her white passing daughter is gonna go through something. And so she kind of has like a meltdown, and she over time gets more and more cruel towards her mother because she starts to see her mother as the reason why white supremacy is persisting. And it's only until like her mother passes away and she's been passing for so long that she runs home and rips open the casket and is like grieving over this black woman, and like all the people around her are trying to get her to stop doing what she's doing, but her white woman strength and her white woman protection, because again, it's the way that white women don't get challenged at all, and they're very protected. And so it's the way that, I don't know about you, but I can't imagine like you stopping the hearse that has your mama in it and ripping open the back door, and not nobody has seen you around your mama for at least 10 to 12 years. Like nobody knew who she was. It was very clear that like it worked. She became white. But in that desire to become white, she no longer was seen by anybody in the black community as a black person. And it's the ways that it shows like that white passing people lose a lot in the pursuit of whiteness. And perhaps it's a cautionary tale, but I'll say that like it's one of those situations where there's a big desire to connect Mary with that character right now from what I'm seeing on threads. And it just makes me think about how like when white passing people get on TV, like even the Mariah Carey's bitch, or the girlie from, damn, I'm like, who? Barry Gordy daughter. Somebody know who I'm talking about. The white girlie that was in the office that was with Jim before he got married to Pam. Somebody knows. But again, whenever somebody white passing, or rather, whenever somebody white who has a brown ancestor, because I really feel like we should start playing it like that. I feel like folks be saying white passing, and I feel like it gives folk a lot. Roy, I'm crying. No, not Pam's ex-boyfriend, Roy. I'm thinking about Jim's girlfriend before he married Pam. The girlie that is like a quadroon in real life. She was in she was in Black AF, and she was also in You People. She's a very white looking person. I'm blanking on her. Karen. Yes. Thank you so much for that. Yes, the girlie that plays Karen in The Office, YV Winter, thank you so much. Rashida Jones, you know what? YV Winter, I owe you. I owe you, because I was like, and it wasn't Barry Gordy, it's Quincy Jones, right? Quincy Jones is her father. Excuse me, bitch. I was thinking an old musical men, might be. But yeah, no, Quincy Jones is her father. And again, it's the way that like we know Rashida Jones is white. Hello. But again, it's the way that she plays somebody black in Black AF, which is awkward as fuck. But again, it's the ways that like Jordan Peele, a biracial person, um, did what he did. And again, it's the ways that like there's no way to know where the white passing people are at. Like I just feel like again, it's the way that the mixed community is not a real thing. Like all we do is post pictures of light skinned babies, and like that's where we're at right now. And so it's the ways that like I don't know where to go to find the white passings or the white people with black ancestry who are talking about that. If anybody finds any content, please share it with me. But it's the way that like I am just seeing so many people like pave the way for tragic white passings to pop out. And I've seen some really wild things. And again, if somebody sees my thread account, there's a white passing person writing the N-word with the fucking hard R to try to explain how like all of the people that are named shit like Senkatra and Griff are also black, and they would be black on their fucking birth certificate. And I'm like, no, they wouldn't. And again, it's the way that somebody in here said that their grandfather had I want to say red bone on their fucking birth certificate. Again, it's the ways that everybody was not black. Everybody is not black, and it's okay, and we should talk about that. It's the way that when we talk about the Creoles or the Criollos, it's the way people know good and goddamn well that those folk are mixed. That's the whole point of the word. So again, I'm tired of the gaslighting, and I know a lot of black folks are as well, and that's what the fuck has been a point of conversation for many years. I refuse to believe Ryan doesn't see that. But I also see him using the term foundational Black American, which while I appreciate it, I know that for some of those folk that encapsulates some light skinned people who are extremely mixed. And so again, I just want to hold that There are people on that stage, on that screen, that are whole mixed people. They're not fractions of blackness. And we really have to start considering that the whole point of fractioning blackness was to consume, was to eat blackness, was to destroy it. That was the point, was to see someone say to categorize someone as black and then destroy that and say what it is. And it's the way white people think that that's what's happening to them now, which is a bizarre thing to say because they've still been doing it. It's the way there are so many mixed influencers right now, like so many people that are very much non-black, and all they gotta say is free Palestine. It's the way that while people are saying free Palestine, it's so fucking easy to do every motherfucking else. And again, I know I'm seemingly off topic, but bitch, it's just all connected. It's like this movie was set 100 years ago, but it still makes so much sense today. And it don't, and it do, and it don't, and it do. And it's very distressing. And it's hard to hear people talk about it because a lot of people are very committed to making people believe that we saw a black woman being loved properly, and we didn't. And as I said, people said Justin J, King of Reads, who has a YouTube channel on here, was being too harsh. And I disagree. I think his content was again inspired by fat black women, which he said, which I appreciated because again, if you don't listen to who was affected, if you don't listen to the person, if you don't listen to people who look like the character that people are talking about, you might want to go back. Again, it's the way that I haven't seen many white passings be candid about like this movie, and I feel like for very good reason. But at the same time, I feel like I see a lot of people trying to open up the conversation for them to speak, and I'm like, no, please. Please, because again, I feel like it's the way that we're gonna hear some wild shit. Justin J, or type in King of Reads. The video is a few days old, maybe 2 or 3 days old, but you'll have to scroll back a bit in their recent videos. But yeah, it's Justin J, spelled just like that, JUSTIN J, and then King of Reads, spelled just like that. And I like their content a lot. They're a black queer man in Atlanta, and they talk a lot about everything. So their content, I think, is worth your time. They're also very I feel like their content is very pointed, but they are very funny. So I feel like if you like to watch black creators like drag the shit out of some stuff, but also give you some historical insight. Like I feel like it's very much a mixed box. Like I feel like they don't just give you the facts, they give you opinion, they give you a little comedy. I feel the same way about Adrian Expression. I feel like I haven't watched their Sinners video yet. I don't know if they have one, but I feel like I've seen it. So I'm gonna have to check on that. But yeah, Adrian Expression, they've been creating a lot of content as well that I appreciate. I've also been sharing content from threads on my Instagram story that is about sinners, but I've been trying to be mindful about not posting the full post so that people can decide whether or not they want to engage. And most of the posts have like a spoiler tag before them. So just PS, not everybody's seen the movie yet, you guys. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here and probably go watch Sinners again. But I hope that folks remember that there's Sinners bootleg in the community post next door. Like I literally posted it. It's a great bootleg. It works. Obviously support the movie. Put money in Ryan pocket if you want to. That's just fine. I'm not a hater, but I'm saying for the people that don't want to go to the theater, for the people that are paying rent this week, for the people that are scared of white people fucking up their experience, I hear you. You're welcome, and I love you. Anyways, talk soon. Bye.